Just step in and off you go. You don't even need to lace up. So how do Skechers slip-ins work? Well, there's a special smooth comfort pillow in the heel that helps your foot slide right into place. So just step in them and go. Find new hands-free Skechers slip-ins for the whole family at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps, fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
It's time for Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Sports Time, Bryant and Brett with you. Johnny Hill producing as always. We're Sports Time and we're with you for the next 3 hours. Plenty to get to in today's show, and we've got Tiger scheduling news that has just come out in the last hour, 2 hours, 2 games on the non-conference schedule that are being reported. So plenty to get to today. We've also got to make golf picks later in the show, so I know everybody, 2 tournaments this week, so I know everybody ready for that one. But Brett, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing well, and I know people are on the edge of their seat waiting for our picks into Corrales Punta Cana, the other event this weekend on the PGA Tour, also in Harbor Town. Mm-hmm. And Scotty Scheffler, the Masters champion, will be playing at Harbor Town. And I know Johnny has the first pick, and I would just advise him only one winner at the Masters one week and go to Harbor Town and win the next week, and that was Bernhard Langer in 1985.
That's a lot to think about, Brett.
I just wanted to throw that in.
Hey, man.
And after those NBA picks last night, Johnny, I was looking out for you. I'm here for you.
Hey, it's been a cold streak, man. I think I need some tissue. I need the tissue, man.
Johnny thinks we're going to feel bad for him after the all-time heater
Johnny's cold-blooded.
In picks. Nobody feels bad for you, Johnny. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. Nobody feels bad for you.
Brett, you should have heard him today, Brett. He tried to play mind games with me, man.
I wasn't playing any of mind games. He
thought all these mind games, Johnny. Hey, straightforward.
He tried to play mind games with me, Brett. I wish you could have heard it, man.
Don't cue John Lennon. We're not playing any mind games. It's straightforward.
No mind games here. I just wanted to get a gauge on who he was going to pick, who he had with that first pick. And
boy, I didn't know I was going to get a John Lennon and a Bernhard Langer in all in the first 2 minutes, Brian.
What a day, man.
What a
day.
Get the bingo card ready. And Corrales Punta Cana.
That's right. Well, I'm just glad you got the name down. So we don't have to worry about that because you've got it.
We'll do those picks really quickly, and then we'll get to Harbor Town. Yes. Looking forward to visiting with John. He had a good pick last week. Everybody in the world is going to take Scotty Scheffler first, but he had a good pick in Will Zalatoris
sure did.
as his shock pick last week because I didn't see that coming out of injury. But I did think, in great reporting by Jason Munns on the beat covering all things Tigers, and we as consumers, we as fans, friends of his, we are fortunate to have such a steady hand like his covering Tiger basketball, and we'll have the football beat writer with us doing the same great job, Jonah Dillon, at the bottom of this hour. But I thought we were getting close to a little scheduling news. I don't think there's anything to fear about Ole Miss. Mm-mm. Penny and Kermit Davis both were the heart and soul of getting that back and going. And I'm certain Chris Beard won't sit in the game this year by virtue of kind of how it's been, just staying true to protocol. The game, I think the game will be on, and it'll be at at FedEx Forum this year. And I'm hoping they announce a new 4-year deal when they do that with, FedEx Forum this year and next year down at Oxford and back to Memphis and then back to Oxford, and keep a long-standing deal going. Of the criticism you can offer at Penny Hardaway, you can't offer scheduling.
No, you cannot. I mean, he said day one that he wanted to be aggressive when it came to scheduling. He wanted to get the best
and play the neighborhood,
and he has definitely done that.
He has. So just since he's been coach, the Tiger basketball has enjoyed games with Tennessee, games with Auburn, games with Bama, games with South Carolina, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Georgia, Vandy, Mizzou, now Mississippi State. Right before him was the LSU thing, which I wasn't wild about that game in Tupelo, but at least they played. Sure. But Memphis needs to play in Memphis.
That's right.
LSU needs to play at Pete Maravich Assembly Center.
Yes.
But at least they played. The only thing to not have a thing with at all, any games with, Kentucky, Florida, and the two new ones on the way, OU and Texas. Arkansas way in the past, that should be rekindled. I don't think it will, and it feels like Tennessee's probably going the way of that as well.
It feels like it, but no, you're right. I mean, Penny Hardaway has done an unbelievable job when it comes to scheduling, and now with the news today that Mississippi State going to be on the schedule next year, and he also said it will be the first time since 1983 that Memphis has hosted Mississippi State, so a good nugget in there from Jason Munns, and
real
then
good.
The home and home as well with Ole Miss agreed upon this afternoon that will start here in Memphis next year.
Oh, that was in that story? It has been formally agreed?
It was a separate story, but yes, both have been reported this afternoon. So Memphis and Ole Miss back officially as a home and home. So two really good additions, and I think
Jason's way ahead of me. No shock there.
No, well, I mean, that's his job, Brett. That's why he's the beat reporter. But definitely two, and we were kind of talking about it before the show started. This feels like, unless we get news about the American and what they're going to do, depending on what they do with the SMU opening now in the schedule for missing a team, this probably feels like what the non-conference schedule is once you add in a couple more games that are probably not the big-time games, but these are going to be your kind of high-profile games.
Yeah, most tell me that they're, even with the exit of SMU, they're going to stay at 18.
Interesting.
So if you stay at 18 AAC games, that means, like last year, play 13 non-conference. We're going to have the 3 bye games that last year, and that usually ranges monetarily anywhere from $50,000 to $75,000 to pay them. That would be Jackson State, Alabama State, and Austin Peay. And I think it would probably include an opener on Monday night, November 4th, against someone in that bye game range, and then play another one in November, and then another one around New Year's Eve at the end of the year, after Christmas, before New Year's, like they played Austin Peay last year. We know the Tigers are going to play 3 in Maui, and we know on the way to Maui, we'll play the San Francisco Dons at the Warriors Arena at Chase Center. Got to return Virginia, return Clemson in the new series, with the first game being at Vegas. Home games, the return game against Mizzou, the just announced against Mississippi State, and the re-up with Ole Miss. So that would be it. That would be your 13. If you want to nash out W's and L's today, go right ahead.
No, thank you.
I don't know rosters. I really can't give them W's and L's.
Yeah, I'll wait until there's at least a starting 5 you can throw out there for the Tigers.
Always best.
Yes, but no, a really good schedule. And again, you got to give Penny Hardaway a ton of credit for being aggressive, going out there and saying, I'm not scared to play anybody. I'll play whoever, whenever, wherever. And I think it's going to be a really, really fun schedule for them this year.
That San Francisco game on the way to Maui has the makings of helping you, if you win, of the ever-moving parts of the RPI net world. That can help you with that conference, just like Vegas can with the Mountain West.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's why I love both those games, because I think both are going to be extremely competitive. Both, I don't know. I've not kept very close eyes on what San Fran and UNLV have done in terms of roster construction this offseason, but both were really solid teams last year, and so I think if they look anything like those teams last year, those will be good tough test, and we know San Francisco always near the top with Gonzaga and with St. Mary's, and then what the Mountain West was last year. That can definitely help you if UNLV plays well in conference play. That will certainly help you down the road.
Yeah, I don't know that I can tell you the starting five running out there for the Dons either.
No, I don't know if I can tell you one player running out for the Dons next year.
Don't know that I could either.
But hey, I know for one thing that they'll be well coached and they'll.
But
be
we
very
know who
competitive.
could tell you.
Who's that?
Joey Brackets
Oh, jeez.
with his
I mean,
mock bracket out.
what are we doing? I mean, I
Utterly
understand
ridiculous.
the way too early top 25s, whatever. But a way too early bracket. I mean, I understand. I guess they're paying the guy. You got to have him put out some sort of content. But wow, I mean, that shocked me. But I mean, well, he had the Tigers in. I think he had the Tigers as the 11 seed. The only team out of the American to be in the tournament. So that's not great. We know kind of the tournament will be, or excuse me, the conference will be not as great this year, probably with kind of everything that's happened in conference play. But the Tigers slotted in as the 11th seed and playing, as the lone member in the AAC is not great. Not what I really wanted to see. But again, how much can you really trust Joey Brackets in April? I mean, the transfer portal just opened, and so. Really can't take much of that into anything. But we'll see. I do like this Tigers schedule a lot, and I think it's going to be really fun once that season comes around. But now, got to figure out that roster, got to put it together, and really figure out who's going to be on the team next year. But we did have a couple of play-in games last night, and that was also a big-time story. The first game last night between the Lakers and the Pelicans. I thought we were going to get that type of a game with the Golden State game later that night. Complete opposite. Last night, that Lakers and Pelicans game was unbelievable. Really fun game.
It was a great game. I thought the Pelicans just got themselves too far behind before they started making their push, and then right at the apex of the push came once again the horrible star-crossed luck for Zion Williamson and that franchise. Hey, look, he was hurt. I'm not knocking him getting hurt. He was legitimately hurt. It just always happens. Always happens to him. Always happens to them. It's never a good time for it. But right there when they're making the push, the crowd's rolling, and you got LeBron and the Lakers on the ropes, it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, and you got to just feel awful for Zion. Because, I mean, having maybe game of career, if they can get that win over the Lakers, over LeBron and AD, and he has 40 points and is the big reason why they end up winning that game.
It's the start of something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, he's
is.
the massive story. He's, Sports Center is leading with that story, and, Zion's back. This is what Zion is was supposed to always be before the injuries. And then it goes, last night's game was honestly, to me at least, the story of Zion. Is the hype, the great play. Look at him when he's healthy, and then just like that, an injury comes into the fold, and he's gone. I mean, that just seems like
what in the world was going on with Brandon Ingram?
That's what I was about to say. Brandon Ingram didn't even play the fourth quarter.
I mean, that was.
I don't even
crazy.
think he really played in the third quarter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Wasn't a lot. 10 in each quarter for Zion Williamson last night, and Kevin Harlan was just great calling.
Yes,
that
he
game.
was. He was great, real
He
great.
was. It was so entertaining, and you thought they had him, but it also shows LeBron. And when you got him on your team late in the game,
You just can't go against him.
Especially in a situation like that. I mean, it's hard to beat him. And
I'm not saying anything nefarious. It was his
No, no.
exploits. It
Oh,
was
absolutely.
his greatness.
Absolutely. He
I
was
agree.
awesome last night. That Lakers team, a really good win for them. And now it looks like, I think Woj reported it earlier this afternoon, Zion going to be out Friday night in that win or go home. And, I mean, that
Yeah,
changes
that
a
changed
ton.
everything.
Because last night, even after watching Sacramento, I thought, okay, Pelicans come in. If Zion, if this was just kind of a scare and he's able to play and they play like they did, tonight against the Lakers, I think they can win that game. But now with him out, I really do not have much confidence in them.
And then,
Brian, I'm sorry, John. Please.
okay. Also, I really noticed something as well. I don't know if y'all noticed the there was a lot of bad body language towards the end of the game, especially when the cameras was on Brandon Ingram. You can tell in his face he was very, very frustrated. And C.J. McCollum, he looked very defeated after the game.
Yeah.
And he really didn't play. He didn't play a good game at all.
No, he did
so,
not.
like, how the Pelicans are looking right now, they look very defeated right now.
I saw bad body language between Magic Reeves and Anthony Davis, too.
Yeah, they were.
It wasn't body language. They were barking at each other.
They were. Yeah.
So maybe start keeping an eye on as they. Massive test for them now.
Lakers are going nowhere. Just
yeah, they're
2
not.
weeks are
They're
out.
not. They're not.
I mean, it's going to.
But
be,
they got past that last night, and we're going to have the hype. But Denver's going to.
Yeah.
That's 4-1 minimum.
I think you're right. I think it's going to be very, very easy for Denver. But then late last night, we might have seen the end of the Golden State dynasty.
We can hope.
Hey, bro, you might got that wish because Klay Thompson looked defeated after
1,000 years before those fans can run their mouth again. It'll be too soon for me.
Man, I mean that's
an insufferable bunch.
Yeah, I mean, but what Sacramento did to them last night was extremely impressive. Keegan
Well, they paid them back for Game 7 last year.
No,
they did.
Absolutely.
I agree.
And it was fun to watch. I mean, that Keegan Murray, what he was doing last night, if he can replicate that Friday night and continue to play like that, man, Sacramento might make some noise.
Going forward, I'm not worried about New Orleans with the Grizzlies. I'm not that worried about Golden State with the Grizzlies. Sacramento's of the 4 teams that played last night, that's the one going forward that I think could get something we won't.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, because I think last year it felt like it wasn't people kind of directly comparing the two teams, but it was, hey, look at this young team that have built these pieces, and they've starting to kind of build that chemistry together. You bring Sabonis in, and they're playing really, really well. So yeah, I think that is definitely a team. Out of those 4 teams last night, the Kings definitely scares me a lot. Well, let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. Brett mentioned it earlier, but Jonah Dillon, the Tiger football beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal, he'll join us in our next segment. Saturday afternoon, the Tigers will have their spring game. First look for fans at what this roster will largely look like in the fall under Ryan Silverfield. It should be a lot of fun with all the hype that's been going around this team with the expanded playoffs next year. There is a ton of hype, so we'll talk to Jonah about spring ball, what the spring game could look like, and some of the early guys that have already entered the transfer portal before the spring game. So a lot to get to with Jonah at 3:30. 3:45, we'll talk some NBA. We'll also get to our picks for the play-in games tonight, 76ers and Heat, and then Bulls and Hawks tonight in the Eastern Conference play-in. So we'll make some picks at 3:45. 4 o'clock, John Gowen. He'll join us, talk some golf, and make some picks from Timber Trust. He was down in Augusta last week for the Masters, so we'll have to talk a lot of Masters and then get into both tournaments that we're picking this weekend. 4:30, we'll talk some baseball, a lot of day ball today, a couple of games already final. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Rob Fisher. He's going to start joining us on Wednesday afternoons through the NBA playoffs to talk a lot of NBA hoops. So he'll join us. We'll talk a little bit of Grizzlies as their season is wrapped up, exit interviews earlier this week, the offseason now upon us, but also take a look at the NBA. As always, Rob Fisher from Bally Sports, Grizzly Broadcast, also Grind City Media. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending, and at 5:45, wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and patio furniture. It's patio season. Come by Family Leisure and check out the new 2024 patio furniture sets. Pool season will be here before we know it, so buy now and get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Save $1,000 to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Also, special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and outdoor kitchens. Only at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
Produced by Johnny Hill, we're Sportstime, and we're with you until 6 o'clock, and you can join us at 901-360-8255. Text or call the Sissy's Log Cabin text line. Sissy's Log Cabin call line, and all our guests will appear on that very same number, 901-360-8255. All guests on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2024 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Call them at 901-334-9673, but stop by the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it's got to be the story that came out earlier today about Jontay Porter, brother of Michael Porter Jr., also former Memphis Grizzlies. He has been banned from the NBA for gambling. A lifetime ban was handed down earlier today to Jontay Porter. All of this we've talked about, it stems from the investigation after there was a ton of bets, a lot of money placed on Jontay Porter under bets in 2 games. He left early in both of those games. That raised a lot of eyebrows, sounded off a couple of alarms, and the NBA investigated. What we now know from the investigations, the NBA announced the investigations found Porter, quote, disclosed confidential information to sports bettors, limiting his own participation in one or more games for betting purposes and betting on NBA games. It was also said he disclosed confidential information about his own health status to an individual he knew was an NBA bettor. And then Shams reported from January to March, Jontay Porter placed 13 bets on NBA games using an associate's account. The total payout was $76,059, resulting in net winnings of $21,965. 3 of those bets were multi-game parlay bets that included, here's the worst part of it, 1 Raptors game. A game in which Porter chose that the Raptors would lose the game, and that is definitely not good. So he is officially banned from the NBA, and definitely not what you wanted to hear from the NBA as we get ready for the NBA playoffs.
You can talk about the NBA in bed with FanDuel and all the other sites. You can talk about all the advertising they do.
Sure.
They all know the line you cannot cross is involving your team. I mean, that's as simple as anything. My top story, the last dance I hope for Golden State was last night in Sacramento. It's over. Making the play-in next year, I think, will be difficult. 4 titles in this run, 15, 17, 18, and 22. 3 others in franchise history, the very first NBA champion in 47, 56, and 75. And Draymond Green accomplished the impossible. He became more hated than Rick Barry was in the 75 championship, and that's hard to do. I'm sick of all of them. Steph Curry throwing that mouthpiece at the referee at FedEx Forum a few years ago. I was done with all of them. And then Draymond and his antics and the code and all that. They're off my TV for a long time.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, it's got to be what we led the show with, and that is the scheduling updates for the University of Memphis. It's been reported by Jason Munns over at the Commercial Appeal that the Tigers will start a home-and-home series with Mississippi State. They will also re-up a contract with a home-and-home contract with Ole Miss. Both those games will start in Memphis this season with the return game happening the following season. I think this is huge. We've talked a lot about what the schedule could look like. You kind of started to get an idea with the Maui Invitational, with San Fran, with UNLV now, and we knew kind of the return trips from last year's schedule, but now to add 2 more SEC opponents, regional opponents that have a deep, strong fan base here in the city, I think is huge. We've seen against Ole Miss, and now I think, Ole Ole Miss was here a couple years ago under Kermit, and now I think a lot more buzz around this program with Chris Beard. I think a lot more excitement that will get fans here to go to a home game at FedEx Forum, but also get fans from Oxford to make the short drive up and root on their Ole Miss Rebels. So I love that both these games were added to the schedule, and I think this is going to be a really, really fun non-conference slate to watch.
Look, I don't know if the record's going to be around those games. I don't know what the weather's going to be like.
Sure.
I know it's probably going to be in and around Christmas, and start your Christmas shopping now. Look, everybody knows the calendar's what it is. They're not throwing a surprise Christmas on us. If those two games, legit, scan count, aren't in that 11, 12, 13 range, then a serious examination of a bunch will have to happen. My not top story, New Orleans just always seems to have something go wrong for them, whether it was CP3, AD, Zion, and the injury last night when he was rolling, and the mysterious benching of Brandon Ingram. They had their shot last night. Not a team going forward the Grizzlies need to worry about.
No, I don't think so. And fun game, though, last night for sure. But I'll do it for top and not top story of the day. I'm glad to see Estrui Ruiz is back in the majors. We talked about him a couple weeks ago after he was sent down after starting the season batting like 400, but he did just hit a 2-run shot to put the A's up 2-0 over the Cardinals. So I don't love that, but I do love Estrui
Sun
Ruiz
splashed in the Bay Area today, isn't it?
Oh, it looks like
that green and red's popping,
sure
isn't
does. It? Yes, it really is playing in front of not a lot of people again, but I guess that's how it goes with the A's. But let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, we're talking some Tiger football with Jonah Dillon.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better? I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
Waiting on a tax return? Hopefully it ends up in your hands. Fraudulent tax returns due to identity theft increased by 30% in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. They monitor and alert you to identity threats you may miss on your own. Even if you're careful with your personal info, hey, and if you do become a victim of tax-related identity fraud, LifeLock has U.S.-based restoration specialists. They're ready to help solve identity theft issues on your behalf. Plus, all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. What's that mean? Well, LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. Why wait for your tax refund in vain? Help protect your info immediately with LifeLock. Go to LifeLock.com. Save up to 25% off your first year. Promo code HERD. That's promo code HERD. 25% off at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning Pruning, and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value.
MetroBuildersMemphis.com.
Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with
MetroBuildersMemphis.com.
Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
It's the Dodge Power Shot Day's last call, and that means it's time to get your best deal at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the pike. Feel exhilarated in 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4x4, $25,889 or $389 a month. And get yours before they're gone. 2023 Dodge Charger SXT, $29,969 or $459 a month. And during Ram Truck Month, get 2024 Ram 2500 Tradesman Crew Cab, $6,000 off MSRP. Plus 0% for 72 months on select models. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the pike. Online, GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 75 months at 8.99%. Renegade Triple P 56520. MSRP 31,095. Charger PH 651,421. MSRP 36,420. Ram RG 193,472. MSRP 65,925. AP offer at 72 months. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Despite a couple of EMS calls out here the last few minutes, not bad actually over here on 240 East, at least for now, between Mill Branch, passing Airways, headed out towards 385. Once you get on the Bill Morris Parkway, that actually is in pretty good shape also out towards Collierville. Yes, it's starting to slow down over here at times on 240 East with that heavy traffic developing up by Poplar. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64. Mother's Day just around the corner. Go by and see them at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. And Saturday afternoon, the Memphis Tigers will have their spring game, 3 o'clock at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium as they wrap up spring practice. And joining us to talk some Tiger football from the Commercial Appeal, the Tiger football beat writer Jonah Dillon joins us now on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. Jonah, long time no talk. It's been a while since we've caught up with you. Glad we're able to catch up with you before the spring game. A lot to get to, but throughout spring practice and now as we're only a couple days away from the actual game, what are you going to be focused on the most while watching? Because we know these spring games can be very vanilla. You're not going to get a ton out of it. What are you going to be focused on Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, well, first of all, excited to be here. I think this is my first appearance of 2024.
I guess, yeah.
So we got to get, so that's important. I'm looking for, I think we'll see more from this spring game than some other programs, like obviously Stats knows Ole Miss get away completely with with even having like a game. So I think we'll see more. I think vanilla actually was the exact term that Brian Silverfield used yesterday to describe the playbook that we're probably going to see. So we're not going to see, their schemes that they're working on that we're going to see in the regular season. I think we will get an opportunity to see the new players. That's what I'm going to be looking for the most. Guys who have transferred in, and then early enrollees from high school, guys who we haven't seen in a Tiger uniform before. And even if it's just, a couple gimmick plays or kind of just going through the motions, we'll at least get to see what they look like in that context of actually being on the field, in front of Tigers fans, stuff like that. And for a lot of guys in position battles, I mean, this will be important, right? It's a scrimmage. They've been evaluated throughout spring practices. It won't be anything final. But there are definitely a lot, backup quarterback is one thing, offensive line, there are a lot of positions up for grabs. Those are being evaluated, and they're going to make even teams, and they're going to try to play a somewhat competitive scrimmage. And so people will be evaluated. And I think at some of those positions, obviously, we know Seth Hennigan is going to be the starting quarterback, but there are some positions where, if you play well, you do something, people are going to know who you are, and that can help you going into fall practices.
Jonah, on the offensive side, we know the Tigers start with a quarterback of a lot of regard that could have the historic record shattering. The ones he doesn't have, he's going to get them this year. What are some of the other position groups that are as strong as that position, like at quarterback?
Yeah, receiver is one. Got a lot of guys coming back. I wrote about this earlier in spring practices. Rock Taylor is like a legitimate candidate to be one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in the AAC, certainly among returning players. If you look at the receivers who were on that all-AAC team last year, Rock Taylor is one of the only ones who's coming back. And then he's joined by Demir Blankowski, who was the Tigers' second receiver last year, and Kobe Drake. And so those guys have all been in the program now for multiple years, and that's going to be one of the strongest parts of that team. I think defensively, linebacker is going to be a strength. Obviously, we know about Chandler Martin. He was a first-team All-AAC guy last year and is coming back and is expected to be a lot better this year even. And then they brought in a lot of guys in the transfer portal. Obviously, Jeff Canton-Artu is gone. He was the other linebacker who played a lot last year, but I think that's going to be a strength. And as you look at it now, projecting from that perspective, those are the two places that I'm looking at. Then you have positions where, like running back, where if Mario Anderson is the player that we all think he's going to be, that'll be a huge strength as well.
Jonah, what could we do writ large as the college football world to make spring games better?
Well, I've seen some people say, why don't they play a scrimmage against another team, which opens up a whole can of worms. Obviously, you're not going to want to give away any secrets, obviously, if you're playing a scrimmage. What would the level of competition be if Memphis was playing against another team? How would you decide who you're going to play? Those things that would go on. But at least then it would be competitive. I think, if you look at, and we'll see how it goes with Memphis on Saturday, but if you approach it as we're going to use this as an opportunity to see what we have, you can get some value from it. And I think the fans would be able to see some stuff if the players feel like there's value for them. If the players feel like they're just out there in some kind of gimmick, exhibition, scrimmage, whatever you want to call it, then the fans are probably going to feel the same way, and the stakes are going to be pretty low. So I think it's difficult, and it's something that people are going to continue to kind of grapple with. Even Ryan Phillips was yesterday saying that, we might be moving in the direction of a lot more schools doing what Ole Miss has done, because they would prefer to just maybe have a closed-door scrimmage, see what they have there, and then have an event that's really tailored to fans and not so much about a competitive football game.
We had everything but Simon Says Saturday at Oxford.
Yeah, and almost a 64-yard field goal I saw at the end. So I don't know. The thing is, if people go to that kind of event and they like it and they feel like they got something out of it, then I think that is something that we're going to see more of. Yeah, and so I think, and that's the reason that, and I think Ryan Silverfield is right. I think more teams are going to do that, because if you want to have a scrimmage and you want to have competition, you can just do that as one of your spring practices behind closed doors, work out what you need to work out there, and then try to create some sort of environment like Lane Kiffin did, where it's just about the fans and about creating an atmosphere and bringing people together for kind of an event in the middle of spring. And I think that's, like you said, probably something we're going to start to see more.
Yeah. Jonah, you wrote a story that was published this morning in the Commercial Appeal about Mario Anderson, the newest running back from South Carolina on this roster. What was the most interesting thing that you learned while preparing this story?
Yeah, and a lot of stuff I learned, it didn't even make it in there because I've spent a lot of time on that one. Yeah. I think, when he was, the thing that I was kind of struck by was when you go out to Tiger practice, and people will see this when they see the whole team and Mario Anderson on Saturday, he looks like a football player. He even among other football players, he's built athletically, like he looks like a star running back. But when he was in high school, he wasn't like that at all. He was scrawny, and it was more about his speed, and that's something he built up throughout his time in Newberry, because he played Division II for 4 years before he went to South Carolina last year. And he's really worked on his body a lot to become this complete running back. And that's why so many programs were after him and why it's such a big deal that he came to Memphis, because he wasn't always that player. That's one of the reasons why he was so lightly recruited coming out of high school. Because if you're out there and you look at a guy like that, you would say, how is it possible that this guy didn't have a single Division I offer coming out of high school? And he's just a totally different player than he was at that point. And it's hard to overstate. It's a really big deal that someone who was the leading rusher for South Carolina and SEC team last year was in the transfer portal, had legitimate offers from places like USC, Washington, Oklahoma, and he chose to come to Memphis. And, Memphis obviously had a really good running back last year in Blake Watson, but Mario Anderson can kind of take that to the next level going into 2024.
It's a real big deal, and that makes Seth even that much better. And you get offensive line play, and I think tight end. The Tigers always kind of have a tight end emerge. Look out. Jonah Dillon with us. He joins us on the Sissy Log Cabin guest line talking all things spring football and Tigers football. He got on the beat last summer right before the season started. Now he knows. And, Jonah, I know everywhere you go, people want to give you the tutorial on Tiger football history. I've worn you out with it. And I know, but everybody does it out of love, and everybody also does it because they saw how you responded and did such a great job on that beat. All that said, are you with me on this is the most anticipated Tiger football season ever?
Yeah, I think I almost was going to say that the other day, and I feel like somebody's going to come tell me that 100 years ago there was a more anticipated season. So I'll have to go back and do my research into the beginnings. But obviously, we know that Tigers football for a long time, in the late 90s was not relevant. Right? They had that crazy bowl drought, which was snapped in 2003. And certainly since then, this has to be the most anticipated year because of the stakes. Now, part of it is obviously Memphis is expected to be really good this year with Seth Hennigan and all the other people that we've just talked about. But the biggest reason is the college football playoff expansion, because for the first time ever, and this is true, for the first time ever, Memphis and a lot of other programs have a legitimate pathway to win a national championship. Now, you're going to say it's not legitimate. Even if Memphis makes the playoff, it's pretty unlikely that they would go through the whole playoff and win the national championship. But this avenue has just not existed for a group of 5 teams. And to be honest, we don't know how long it's going to exist for, because there's obviously talk about a new expanded playoff, all sorts of crazy stuff with college football, Super League, you name it. And so this format is here this year. We know that. We know that this avenue exists, but we don't know how long it's going to be. Mm-hmm. And if there's any year recently where you would want Memphis to have this opportunity with the team they have this year, it would be this year, because this is shaping up to be the best team they've had in quite a while. And you could probably include, at least preseason expectation-wise, you could include the 2019 team in that.
Well, we mentioned running backs a couple minutes ago with Mario Anderson, and yesterday a couple of guys jumped into the portal from this Tigers roster, one of them being the leading rusher in 2022, Jay Ducker. Was that just this is a deep room and he kind of saw the writing on the wall, Mario Anderson was going to be probably the main back, and his carries went down last year and they were probably going to continue to go down. Do you think that's why he entered the transfer portal yesterday?
Yeah, I think you saw last season he really fell behind quite a few guys in that rotation. He's behind Blake Watson, behind Sutton Smith, and Brandon Thomas also, who all had very specific roles. And then Mario Anderson coming in is like we talked about, expected to be the top guy. So I think it made sense. It'll be interesting to see where he goes, what kind of offers he has, because when he came to Memphis, he was coming off a 1,000-yard rushing season at NIU. And who knows, he'd go to a program kind of at that level and maybe do that again. And he was the Tigers' leading rusher in 2022. And so he's had success at the collegiate level. So it'll definitely be interesting to see where he goes. But yeah, like you said, he just kind of fallen back in that pecking order and I guess decided he wanted to go try something somewhere else.
Jonah, with the anticipation of this season and what it could be for the fans and for the university alike and around town, and we know around college sports right now, access is very, very limited for everyone, beat writer, radio, TV, everybody. It's very limited. What is something tangible that you could go to the football ops guy or the sports information people, or if you could get in front of Coach Silverfield and go, look, if you would let me do this, I can do this without giving away any state secrets, but it would help me in my reporting. It would help me in the publicity of your team. What's a middle ground that would be easy?
Oh, well, how much time do you have? I mean, this is, it's constant. Any sports writer covering anyone is always going to want more access, right? We get to watch practice for a couple minutes at the beginning every day. Obviously, I'd love to watch practice every day and kind of see how those things are shaping out. And obviously, they work on different things throughout the spring than in the fall, and they're wrapping up spring practices tomorrow. I think that I would love to. I mean, there's a million things, right? I would love to sit in meetings, see what it's like, see what those conversations are like. What's conversation. I always think about like the first time a coach contacts a recruit, whether it's in the transfer portal or as a high school athlete. What is that?
Even if the story had to be embargoed, you get to view everything now, but you can't write it till later.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on obviously it depends on what it is. There's a lot of things that we deal with that are embargoed, I'm always going to want more access. I think and that's why I'm excited to see, as much as we know that the spring game on Saturday isn't going to be like we talked about, a super competitive game. It'll be a chance to watch all those guys out there for an extended period of time, going through actual reps, actual plays, and no one's gotten to do that, especially since the regular season ended. And so I think that'll be helpful for us as media as well as the fans to be able to see those players.
Yeah, well, it should be a lot of fun Saturday afternoon as fans get that first look of what this team could look like in the fall. But Jonah, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and let's do this again soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jonah.
Jonah, thank you so much. Always. Jonah Dillon with us on the beat for the Tigers from the Commercial Appeal. He was on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. And Brian, I don't think it's being over the top to talk about this anticipated season. Do you? And I think it will build and build and build. A fun time for me at whatever date the golf tournament, FedEx St. Jude Championship, whenever they have that, is I love to see everybody kind of represents and where they're all the SEC colors out there, the Tigers are out there. This year, where that tournament lands, if you don't think we talk a lot of college football out there anyway, on or off there. This year, it's going to be prime because it's going to be right when we leave there, and the ball is practically on the tee.
That's right. Yeah. No, I mean it's right there. So I remember last year. A lot of excitement around Ole Miss, a lot of excitement around Tennessee while we were out there. People, just kind of chatting away about them. But, yeah, you're absolutely right. Memphis is going to be the big talk this year with everybody so excited of what could be this year. And I think, Ryan Silverfield even said it. I know Jonah had a story last night if they were able to talk to Silverfield after practice. And he said, that he – kind of during the season doesn't get on social media, doesn't have it on his phone or anything, but that in the off season he does, and he sees the chatter, he sees the excitement, and that it's fun, it's good, but now they've got to go out there and actually do it. So it'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited for it. But also, speaking of Jonah, I mentioned that story that was published earlier this morning, the Commercial Appeal, a feature story on Mario Anderson. I'm telling you, go check it out. Go to the Commercial Appeal. Check out the story by Jonah. It was unbelievable. Really good stuff, learning about one of the newest Tigers from the transfer portal last year. Well, let's go ahead and get to a break. And when we come back, we got to talk some more NBA. We've also got to make our picks for the play-in games in the East. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does your favorite mixers. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent out to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff, just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids gummies help relieve occasional stomach upsets, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids gummies. Fast support for little tummies.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir. It's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Hey, Jason, my main man, Marshall, what's up over there at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike?
Well, Randy, we know that one size doesn't fit all at Gossett Volkswagen, so we've got a take-your-pick offer that covers all the bases.
Well, everybody I know, including me, loves choices. So, Jason, what do you got?
How about a 2024 Taos S, 2024 Tiguan S, or a 2024 Jetta Sport? Take your pick for $279.99 a month. Plus 1.9 for 60 months on all Atlas and Atlas Cross Sports, or get a brand new 2024 Atlas Cross Sport SE for only $33,988, and no reasonable offer will be refused.
Ask for Jason, the main man, Marshall at Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike, or online at GossettVWMemphis.com.
That's Gossett Volkswagen on Covington Pike, where we're charging forward and charging less every day.
All 36-month lease, 7,500 miles per year. Taos RMO 51756, MSRP 26063. Tiguan RM 103,910, MSRP 31363. Jetta RMO 48802, MSRP 25506. Cross Sport RC 23649, MSRP 38981. Includes $3,000 rebate. Cannot be combined with special APR. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes stock final license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. If you need a new roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. I have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with 2 of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time it is to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies and the Redbirds and 901 FC, not to mention Tigers football and basketball, it's going to be a fun year. Thanks to Coach Silverfield and Coach Hardaway and their staffs for their dedication to the student and athletes, the University of Memphis, the City of Memphis, and us fans. Five Ash Roof Services, a proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. We got to talk the NBA. It was a fun night last night with a pair of games. 2 more tonight as we've got the Eastern Conference play-in games. And we need to make our picks. The first game is going to be very interesting. 76ers and Heat. And then that second game, Hawks and Bulls. So we'll see one team get the 7th seed tonight, and then 2 more teams advance.
One team over the top rope tonight.
Yeah, one team completely done. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see how this plays out tonight.
Both games on ESPN tonight. Last night, both games on TNT, and Kevin Harlan was just vintage, wasn't he last night?
He was really good.
Was great. I mean, he's got that big game gravity magic to him, and I think he's just one of the best out there tonight. Both games on ESPN, 6 o'clock start, 8:30 start, East Coast, Eastern Conference. So a little bit earlier for us in the Central. The Heat, 5.5-point underdogs in Philly, and the Bulls, a 3.5-point favorite at home over Atlanta. Last night, I went 1-1. Bryant, you went 1-1. Johnny, you had the tough luck 0-2 last night.
Tough night.
I thought New Orleans was going to get there for us late, but they didn't. Bryant had the Lakers, and then Bryant had Golden State. I had Sacramento and New Orleans, and Johnny, you had New Orleans and Golden State. Who wants to go first tonight? Any order?
I'll go first. I have no fear in my
you jumped
picks.
right at it.
I love the 76ers tonight. They've been playing really well, so I think they get the job done tonight. Don't know about against that spread. 5 points is an awful lot, but I'll take the 76ers to get past the Heat tonight, lock up that 7 seed, so they'll be playing the Knicks in the first round. Then for that second game, I will take the Bulls over the Hawks. Bulls played the Knicks really well on Sunday, made it a really close game. I think they've got another one in them, so I think they stay alive. And sorry, Hawks, at least you live till the 17th of April, but I think their season's going to come to an end tonight.
We're just picking winners, no point spread here, so you take Philly and Chicago. Yep. I'm going to go exactly oppo on you. I'm going to take Miami. They're Mr. Play-in, aren't they?
They sure are. You're right about that.
And I'm going to take Atlanta to pull the upset in Chicago.
Some blood's
John?
going to be drawn tonight between us, Brett.
Sure will. A bunch.
Yeah.
I'm picking the 76ers and the Hawks.
All right. So splitting the difference between us. I like it.
Philly and Atlanta.
I like it. I'm excited about these two games tonight. I can't say – I think in terms of both games, I was more excited last night because I don't really care about Bulls and
I can say it.
But I'm excited about that first game tonight. 76ers and Heat, I'm really excited for.
And we're Western Conference oriented.
Sure.
Yeah, we are.
Sure. We see these teams a lot more. Obviously, with the Grizzlies being there, we have a lot more interest in what's happening in the West than in the East. I was super excited for both those games. Really only excited for the 76ers and the Heat tonight.
But you never know. These two could be better games than both of those last night. And the first game was really good last night.
No, it was great. It was awesome. I mean, just seeing those back and forth. It felt like,
I tapped out of the second game. I gave up on the Cardinals and the A's and the second game at the same time.
Honestly, I don't blame you.
10:30 last night.
I was about to do the same thing. But I really did. I mentioned this earlier. Last night, I think watching the first half, second half, I forgot when it was, and I looked up and Lakers were up by like 15 or something like that. They were up big. And I was like, okay, Lakers are going to run away with this one, and then Kings-Warriors is going to be the really close game. And then before I even knew it, here come the Pelicans and completely closed that gap and completely flipped what I thought was going to happen last night. Pelicans-Lakers became
right at the end of the third quarter is what really turned it.
Yeah, and so that became the big close game, and then Kings-Warriors was fun early, and then, early in the second half, you could turn the lights out.
The Trey Murphy deep three trying to get two possessions before the end of the third, that's when it started turning. But as I said earlier, I thought New Orleans had dug itself a little too big of a hole at that point. But it was close. Lakers are going to win that game on experience more times than not.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And so, they've been there. They've been in that big moment. Pelicans really haven't. And so, they have the guys, and especially –
Here's another guy that went MIA.
Uh-huh.
What happened to Jonas Valanciunas last night?
Hey, Brett.
Was he driving the car that Brandon Ingram left in?
Man, I guess he was, Brett, because on that crucial rebound, you see Anthony Davis easily got that over Larry Nance.
Easily.
They didn't even have Jonas out there, so, man.
I can't repeat what I said on the LeBron air ball, and they get the rebound.
Man, I was hot too, Brett. I ain't gonna lie, man.
You didn't say what I said, Johnny. You're a better fella than I am.
No, I didn't say that.
That's funny. But no, two really fun games. I hope tonight we get two fun games as well. But that'll do it for our first hour. Let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, we're talking golf with John Goen.
Challenging, purposeful, rewarding.
I was the only female in my class, so I call them my brothers to this day because they supported me, they helped me. Like, I couldn't do pull-ups. I went to the gym, we worked out together, so it was fun.
We have the unique opportunity as deputies of interacting with people at some of the worst and sometimes most transitional or pivotal moments of their lives.
Come join our team, become a patrol deputy with the Shelby County Sheriff's Office.
All 650 acquisition P 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200. Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2024. Dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, what's happening over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah Wonderland?
Randy, we are making magic on Mount Moriah. 2024 Kia Forte LXS 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month, and a 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease.
And 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9, and always get peace of mind with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
So get over there, Gossett Kia South, 2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry, and they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Bartlett Small Engine has free pickup and delivery both at your home and curbside for lawnmowers, blowers, edgers, and any small engine. Call 901-386-9779.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Yo, Mark, long time no see. You still down at Dyer's?
Man, I'm not down at Dyer's. I'm out at Collierville Historic Town Square.
When'd you move out there?
We've been out there for about 13 years. We've got the shops, the park. We got the train the kids like to play on.
You still cooking those burgers the old-fashioned way?
Man, we're still flattening out those hamburger balls on a slab of marble and skillet frying them the old-fashioned way like they've been doing for 100 years.
Dude, you still have those onion rings.
Man, they're fantastic. Hand-breaded, served up just right.
I loved those milkshakes. Please tell me you're still doing those.
Man, we are hand-dipping those shakes, putting them in the old glass in the shake tin, served the old-fashioned way.
You got any new items out there I need to know about?
We're just doing a lot of gourmet sandwiches. We've got farm-raised catfish straight out of the Delta. We've got some hot tamales from Pasquale's Tamales out of Helena, Arkansas.
Man, are they served in the husk?
What those guys like to say, they're so good, you'll suck the shuck.
Go see my buddy Mark at Dyer's Cafe in Collierville's historic town square.
Hey, Mid-South! Discover your new ride at Gossett Kia on the Pike. You want it? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, rear-wheel drive, $249 a month. Plus, Gossett Kia's got 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease. And you'll always find peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So stop what you're doing and call Bobby J, because he's ready to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike. Online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition P 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200. Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2024. Dealer stock only.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Starting to crank up a little bit more volume over here just in the last few minutes on 240 East, working your way past Poplar. This has become a thing now this time of the afternoon to get a little bit busy over here on this side of town as traffic picks up getting on to Billmore Parkway going outbound. It still looks pretty good, clear shot out towards Collierville. It's not bad right now. I-40 as we check it out live over here at Warford as you come past Hollywood. A 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in the Memphis area. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out online, tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios, and joining us now to talk some golf. We've also got a lot of picks to make today. John Goen from Timber Trust joins us on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. John, thanks so much for joining us. How are things down at Timber Trust this week?
Hey guys, happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Things are good. You know, we've had some decent weather. We've got a little bit of rain to kind of, get things jumping up out of the ground. So, just obviously playing a little bit of catch up from last week and all the rain we got, but really made a lot of progress these kind of first 3 days of the week, getting golf course mowed out and in good condition, being able to get out and top dress and drag and roll greens to get a little speed back in them. So, no real complaints. Got a good couple of days kind of coming up, and then, we'll look forward to the weekend and kind of, see what's in store from that perspective.
John, we love spreading the good word on what you and your family and y'all have accomplished down at Timber Trust down in Olive Branch. But we also recognize we can't fight the best marketing tool out there for golf courses. And that was last week in the Masters. Did it do it again? Did it cause your business to go up like it always does this time of year for everybody here?
Well, I think that everybody kind of focuses their attention, right around Augusta time. So, I will definitely say that, we had a good weekend. We had our Magnolia Open on Saturday and had a great group of folks out. Really enjoyed our time. It's a 4-person scramble event for us, and we kind of do it with all the majors to where, we'll put the top 20 guys that make the cut into a hat, and you pick a name out, and whoever you get there, you're taking their score from that day combined with your 4-person scramble score, and then we flight everything at the end and kind of announce the winners on Sunday after the rounds and everything are done. But, it's so much fun to kind of get out and, have folks experience, everything that we're kind of doing. And it was just a really fun weekend. Obviously, have the Masters on, and we put it up in the TrackMan Bay and have the ability to be able to watch it on a super big screen, 16 by 14 foot screen. And, just really kind of enjoy the weekend as we kind of got through golf's first major. And now we're turning our eye to Louisville. Look forward to the PGA Championship, but what a great weekend, and obviously we'll have something else very similar to the Magnolia for all of the majors. So we've got our what we call the SIP Championship coming up, in line with the PGA, and then we do one in line with the U.S. Open as well as the Open Championship. So, just a great way to kind of tie in what we do from a golf course perspective in with the majors, and really kind of get folks, helping them tune in maybe a little bit more if they don't necessarily watch golf a heck of a lot on TV during the major golf season.
John, let me be the idea guy. I know how you always incorporate something around those 4 majors. Have your own Paris Olympics down at Timber Trust this year.
Boy, I can't. There's so many things I could try to tie in to the Paris Olympics. I don't know how you tie in sprints with beer drinking. Other
have a discus throw off a tee.
I'll throw javelin.
Yeah.
Be careful with the javelin.
I think there's a lot of things we could tie into that, but it's definitely something worth maybe taking a look at. From an Olympic perspective, I'm sure we could come up with mini Olympic sports that we could conduct on the golf course. So
might turn it into the Ole Miss spring game. Have a basketball goal and have a
hot dog eating contest.
just have it all. John, what was one thing of your experience last week at Augusta that now that you've gotten back home and you thought, boy, that was really cool. I'm glad I did that. Something you saw, something you did. What was something at Augusta last week that was memorable?
Boy, it had been a while since I had been there for the par 3 contest. And it was, we camped out at such a great spot because we were right there next to 5 green. You can see 5, 6, 2, 3, and 4. So you get a lot of action right where we were at. And, just kind of seeing obviously all the families and the grandkids and the kids and all that other stuff. You forget how I think special that event is for a lot of folks because it's so non-golf related. It's kind of I think a bit of the pressure release before you really get into the grind over the span of the next 4 days. That's probably one thing. This is, I guess, the ridiculous side of it, but from an operations side, just the efficiency that Augusta National has with everything, whether it's the concessions line, whether it's the merchandise line,
the bathroom,
whether it's I wasn't. I was going to go there, but I didn't want to realize.
It is. I mean, it's the most efficient bathroom.
It is. So just there's not another event that really kind of manages the overall experience for the patrons the way Augusta National does, and it's just extremely impressive. From that perspective, I mean, you literally give the entire community, that week off for spring break, so that the entire focus is just providing the best overall experience for everybody that's coming into town for that week to 10 days that you're there. And, it's an incredibly interesting from my perspective, especially with, all the years that I was a part of PGA Tour events and things along those lines. Just see, we made the comment that they must basically go and hire all the folks that work at Chick-fil-A and bring them to Augusta for the week to let them, kind of work and then send them back. It's just that impressive.
It sure is. And they're that kind, they're that welcoming. I think everything in sports, everything in business could learn from be nice, be clean, be efficient, be appreciative, and they are. There's one thing, though, that I think after this year they're going to work on, and they can mandate it in that parking right around the golf course that is free, that they control. I think they're going to mandate to people that they disarm their car alarm. There was too many car alarms going off in the background that you could hear, and Scott Van Pelt even mentioned it.
Yeah, I'll be honest. In the time I was watching, I didn't even notice any of that. But I don't know how you disable a car alarm. That means you're basically not locking your car, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how that would necessarily work. But yeah, it's definitely interesting to hear that. And I don't have the end all be all answer for what happens there, but it's definitely something that I think a lot of us, even within our neighborhoods, wish that there was the ability to potentially disarm at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning when your neighbor's car alarm goes off.
And you're thinking, if I can hear it a block over, how are you not hearing it?
Exactly. Exactly.
John, we've acknowledged multiple times this week that you were the winner this past weekend with the Scotty Scheffler pick. We have given you credit for Will Zalatoris. I will say that. We have not much given you credit for Scotty Scheffler because he just walked away with it. That was very impressive. How impressive was this weekend of golf for Scotty Scheffler?
Well, look, Brett sent me a text, and my response was, there's just a lot of there's not a lot of skill in going first this week. There's just the fortunate.
You had to take him.
There's the fortunate opportunity I had of being the first pick, just because of one, your courtesy of extending the guest the first opportunity, but also winning last year. So it was a bit of a no-brainer, and there wasn't a lot of luck or skill involved in that pick. It was pretty simple. As far as Scotty goes, I mean, look, to play the way he played even on Friday, I mean, I texted a buddy who wound up going, so we were there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then he wound up going for a little bit of time on Friday, and I asked whether Friday was worse than Thursday, and he says that it was substantially worse. And you could see it on TV. I mean, the sand blowing out of the bunker on 18, that's something that you would never – I mean, look, when we top-dress greens like we did today at Timber Trust, you'll see some sand fly just from the top dress. I'm like, you've never seen that at Augusta National, sand on the front of 18 green where the ball hits and, you see nothing but the splash of sand coming up off the ground. So, but, the ability to combat the wind and the conditions on Friday and get through that and still, really kind of put himself into position, it just goes to continue to show that, he's the number one player in the world. He's the number one player in the world by a very, very wide margin. And, I mean, without anything major happening in the near future, you don't really see that changing. And if he wouldn't have kind of messed up a little bit here and there, I mean, he could have won his last 4 starts, which then separates the gap even further as far as him being number one player in the world. So, just a great week. Clearly, I think he's obviously very happy that he was able to make it through the week. Obviously, with the pregnancy of his with his wife. And them expecting their first child here within the next week or so, but really now at any point in time. So it was he was phenomenal. He had a little bit of opportunity for some folks to kind of come after him and catch him. They didn't really flex at all to be able to do that. And then he made those birdies on 9. And I think 10, to kind of separate himself a little bit. Then, of course, 13 and 15. So, he really kind of separated himself when he had the opportunity to do it. The shot on 9 was absolutely incredible. If he'd have dunked that, clearly, I mean, it'd have caused an even bigger roar. But, as he kind of had some pressure on him, with some of the guys trying to come at him a little bit, he made the shots when he needed to make them, and he stretched the lead back out, and then everybody else around him kind of fumbled a little bit with Colin making double on 9, and then Oberg making double on 11, hitting in the water, and so look, I mean, just like any event at any club, whether it's a stroke play or match play event, everybody wants to argue about which one you want to play in. The best players are always going to win regardless of what the format is. And
Sure.
Clearly right now, Scotty Scheffler is the number one player in the world, again, by a very, very wide margin.
It's just really funny how the best always seem to win, no matter what the rules are drawn up. Like John going with us talking golf from Timber Trust Golf. He's on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. What happens first? Rory joins Liv, or Rory finally wins a green jacket?
Well, if you believe both sides of it, neither. How about neither?
That's a great answer, John. That really is.
I mean, supposedly it's been $850 million. But I mean, Brett, we've talked about this for probably since when he folded, at Augusta. I think Rory will not finish the career Grand Slam because he cannot get past what happened to him when he basically choked on 10 tee box at Augusta.
That's it.
He's not recovered from it since playing there.
Snakes in the head.
And so I don't think, I feel like I've said this for some time now, I don't think Rory wins at Augusta. I think that there's too much pressure. I think there's too much made of what happened. He could probably be in the absolute best form possible going into that event, and I just don't see him having the ability to be able to close the deal.
And, John, we saw Arnold Palmer and Tom Watson. They couldn't close out a PGA championship, and it got kind of self-fulfilling for them because every time they would show up, it's now 9 years or 10 years, and the toll gets to them, and as you get older, it really starts to get to you.
Absolutely. I mean, I can see Rory finally winning another major that's not at Augusta.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can see that potentially.
He can win at Troon this summer.
Exactly. I mean, obviously Phil Mickelson had his chances to complete the career Grand Slam and gave it away at Winged Foot. Jordan Spieth is having, obviously his challenges trying to, finish the career Grand Slam, and he's dealing with the exact same thing at the PGA Championship. I mean, the continued pressure, the continued, questions of, when are you going to be able to do this? And, fortunately or unfortunately, I mean, you could see, Jordan potentially not being able to do that either, just because of the mounting pressure of what happens. And again, I think you could see Jordan winning another major. It just may not be a PGA Championship.
Yeah. Well, since we have 2 tournaments this weekend, we need to go ahead and get to picks so we can get both in. So we can start with, I'm just going to call it the CPC. Brett has the tournament name down, but I'll just, out of respect for the tournament and for myself, I'll just refer to it as the CPC.
You got it. Johnny, you're up first at the CPC. Your lock pick, Johnny.
I got Nikolai
Nikolai Højgaard.
There you go.
Nikolai Højgaard. I practiced, bro. Nicholas Højgaard.
John, what grade you give him on pronunciation?
Well, I will say that when Johnny called me initially, the nerves were there.
Hey, I was nervous.
There from the get-go.
Hey, John, I told you before. I said, man, I'm a little nervous, man.
Very good. Right, you're locked.
He admitted it. He knew the pressure was on.
Hey.
I said, look, man, you're a rookie. You're still easing into it. I mean, we're going to give you some grief about it, but at the end of the day, no, you're perfectly fine.
Very good.
Thank you, John. Give me grace. Give me grace.
I'm going to take Billy Horschel.
Great pick. But both great picks, even in the pronunciation police looking after Johnny. Nikolai Højgaard and Billy Horschel. Then it's my pick, and I take Sam Stevens.
Good pick.
John?
Did you really just say that's a good pick?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Stevens.
It is a good pick, John.
Old Sammy, you don't know old Sam Stevens?
All right. I mean, he's number 1 on the tours list here in power rankings. I guess I got to take Alex Noren.
All right.
Alex Noren. All right, any shock, and it would pay double if you win, even though we're not going to OWGR. Any pick you want, Johnny?
Mark Hubbard.
Mark Hubbard's a great pick. I think it's great because I had him on my list. Yeah. Good job, Johnny. Bryant.
Let's go. Oh, I love this pick. Let's go Victor Perez. Old Vic Perez.
Victor Perez. I did not have him on my list. All right, I went Sam Stevens. I go no relation to the Ryder Cup founder, Samuel Ryder.
All right, I'm going to go with Matt Fitzpatrick's brother, Alex.
Ooh.
That's bold. All right, I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to set it up where he's got both Fitzpatrick boys this weekend. So we go to RBC Heritage, and I reminded Johnny earlier, Scotty Scheffler, if he wins, would be the first person to win at Augusta and the next weekend at Hilton Head since Bernhard Langer did it in 1985. Johnny, your lock.
I'm going with Scotty.
All right.
There you go.
I'm going with Scotty.
I love it.
Bryant.
I love it. Let's see. You know what? We're going to take a stab on, let's go Max Homa this week. Why not?
Max Homa. And I will take defending champion to go back-to-back, and John can't have the Fitzpatrick boys. I'll take Matt Fitzpatrick.
You son of a gun, you. All right, let's see here.
That leaves you Colin Morikawa.
It does.
Or Tommy Fleetwood. How about that? Fleetwood Mac.
Is it my pick, or is everybody going to make my pick for me? What are we doing right now?
You're the champ, and you're the winner. You pick.
Need some help. I mean,
look, I get that I was fortunate enough to get double money at 4 point whatever million, and I have a commanding lead right now. I mean, I guess I can just do I just hand this off to you guys to start making my picks for me?
Please,
Is that what we're doing?
We'll let you pick.
I'm going to take Patrick Cantlay.
Back around to Johnny with a shock.
I'm going with Tony Finau.
Very good, Johnny. Tony Finau, who had a tough Sunday.
Hey, redemption.
26 OWGR, just outside our cut line. Bryant?
Oh, I love this one. I think he wins the whole thing. Give me Shane Lowry.
Big Shane Lowry. Give me Siwoo Kim.
All right,
48.
Where did we say? What's our cut line here? Is it top 20?
26 in North.
Yeah, there you go.
26. All right, here we go. Well, I mean, I guess I'll take the same guy I took last. I mean, Will Zalatoris.
Yeah.
I think even last week. I mean, he's playing. I mean, why not? Let's ride the wave. Even par, he does well for me last week. Let's do it.
And he is back from injury. That was a great pick last week. We've griefed you about Scotty, but you nailed it with the T9 with Will Zalatoris. John, you've also nailed it at Timber Trust, where everybody has so much fun. And just like Augusta National, you'll be appreciated. It'll be neat. It'll be clean. Tell our listeners how they can play tomorrow in the Scramble, get a tee time this weekend, and get in on the fun down in Olive Branch.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have our 2-person scramble tomorrow night, 5:30 shotgun start. We play 9 holes. We got skins game and a team game. It's $40. You can call the golf shop, 662-895-3530 to sign up, you and your partner. That's every Thursday night at 5:30. We're definitely in the swing of it now, so make sure you call and get signed up early. Then this weekend, you can either visit us at timbertrustgolf.com or you can call us 662-895-3530 and get signed up for your tee times over the weekend. Golf course is really kind of coming along. As I said, we've been able to kind of get everything kind of caught back up, mowing it out. Things are really starting to green up. Can't be happier with kind of how we're coming out of the winter and everything. So just a great time to be able to start playing golf. We've got so many activities going on. We've got a Tuesday night ladies group that likes to play. We've got obviously our 2-person scramble. We've got a Wednesday night group in Spark Golf that plays 9 holes starting at 5 o'clock. Another opportunity for you to be able to come down. We've got our First Tee Junior programming on Saturdays at 10:30 in the morning to introduce your junior to be able to play and get them involved. So, numerous opportunities to be able to either play golf with your family, get involved, start playing golf, and we just would really love to be able to see you come down and experience everything that we're doing at Timber Trust.
Well, John, enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you again next Wednesday.
All right, guys. Enjoy golf this week. Take care.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, John. John going with us every week talking golf and a lot of fun. I'm going to keep the hard one for Rory with you.
Okay.
Live first or win a green jacket first? Are you going off the board neither?
I'm going to say he joins Liv. With the amount of money that they're throwing at him and just it seems like every year we're talking about Rory and the Masters and he doesn't get it done. I feel like if either of them happens, it's Liv, but he made his stand yesterday saying he was, not going to join Liv and he was going to stay with PGA. So, we'll see what happens.
For lunch, anywhere in town you want to go to, Bryant. Tell me where the Live event is this weekend.
Okay, I don't think it's in Nashville. I think Nashville's this summer. Let's go to the beautiful state of Arizona, Brett.
There's not one this weekend. Next event's in Australia. They're coming up soon on Houston and then Nashville.
Really? Yeah, I knew Nashville because I got some sort of ad the other day of Liv's coming to Nashville, and I was like, oh boy.
And we continue it. Only mention of Live are PGA players going. Mm-hmm. We never talk about it in a golf context ever. No. Where they're playing, what they're shooting, what's going on, whether the smashers are beating the high flyers, the range goats. We never talk about it competitively ever.
No, the only time I guess I must have downloaded the Live app like last year when they had their first tournament.
I didn't know I was at jeopardy of losing lunch.
How about that? I downloaded the Live app last year just because I wanted to check out their first event and see what it was about. And I still have it, and I get notifications from it. And 15 minutes before their event starts, I'll get a notification saying, we're live at, whatever for LIV Miami or whatever, and then I'll know where they're at and that they're actually playing. Outside of that, never know if they're playing that week or not, where they're playing. It's kind of a complete blind guess for me.
And I told you the story last year. A very nice lady came up to me out at the golf tournament and said, listen, love the show, love you and Bryant, love what y'all are doing. She said, you're too hard on Liv. You need to give it a chance.
Did you give it a chance?
No.
I didn't think so.
I told her thank you, but I never was.
I didn't think so. I barely give
Love
it a chance.
the honesty, Brett.
It's interesting for sure. But let's go ahead and get to a break. And when we come back, there's been a lot of day baseball today, so plenty of baseball to get to. We'll talk that next on Sports Time.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. A legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
Hey Mid-South, get to Gossett Mitsubishi Motors Spring Sales Event and get thunderstruck with 43 MPG Highway and 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage. We Gossett for $18,960 or $269 a month, or hit the open road in your 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. We Gossett $28,350 or $379 a month, and adventure starts with 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SE. We Gossett $32,765 or $449 a month. Plus, every Gossett Mitsubishi comes with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, online 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 84 months Mirage RH00 5921 MSRP 19460, Eclipse RZO 342,249 MSRP 29,350, Outlander RZO 43754 MSRP 33,765, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western.
Hey, John gave me some grace.
Boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-306-8158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
Is your home screaming for an upgrade? Listen closely because Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing is about to make your day. First up, say goodbye to cold showers and hello to endless hot water with our tankless water heater upgrade. Not only does it save space and energy, but it also keeps the hot water flowing exactly when you need it. And here's the kicker. Switch from your old tank to a sleek, efficient tankless water heater now, and Choates will hand you a $500 credit. Yep, you heard that right. $500 back in your pocket. But wait, there's more. Clogged drains are a hassle no homeowner wants to deal with. With Choates' special offer, get your drains cleared for just $93 or it's absolutely free. That's our guarantee to make it drain or you don't pay a dime. So why wait? Call Choates today at 347-8086 or visit us online at choateshvac.com. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
Hey, Mid-South! Discover your new ride at Gossett Kia on the Pike. You want it? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, rear-wheel drive, $249 a month. Plus, Gossett Kia's got 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease. And you'll always find peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So stop what you're doing and call Bobby J, because he's ready to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition P, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details, offer valid through 4/30/2024, dealer stock only.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Afternoon, a couple of accidents getting some attention out here. It's still pretty crowded. Certain sections of Sam Cooper going outbound. It's running slow over here. It's waiting for you over here on 240 eastbound, just trying to get past Poplar as it cranks up down into South Haven with that volume just in the last few minutes on 55 going southbound all the way down into DeSoto County. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here for you in the Memphis area. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our family leisure studios and Major League Baseball. A lot of day action today is first game. First pitch around 11 o'clock. We had a lot of noon games, 1 o'clock games. Only a couple of games that have not started. Only 3 games that have not begun. Rockies and Philadelphia will go at about 5 o'clock our time. Angels-Rays will go about 5:50. And then at 6 o'clock, the Guardians and the Red Sox. But other than that, games either done or in action right now, including the St. Louis Cardinals, who are currently down 3 runs in Oakland to the Athletics.
Yeah, the Cardinals are kind of stuck on 3. Got 3 Monday night in a win, 3 last night in a win, and got 3 so far today, and trailing 6-3 over the A's. And last night, the box score attendance in Oakland was 3,296, 3,296. Bryant, when that last out was made at whatever time it was, there could not possibly have been more than 400 human beings on that property.
Yeah, I was telling you earlier that midway through the game, later in the game, all these broadcasts will do the wide shots of the stadium, and man, I mean,
not flattering.
It looked really, really bad last night for that game.
It did, but it was fun. Both pregame and the interaction during the game with Chip Carey and his son Chris, that is continuing the Carey legacy of calling big league games now with Oakland, and he'll move right up. He'll move to a big market. His dad is 58, 59 years old, went to college at Georgia, and Chris went to Georgia as well. He's got a brother that's doing AAA games.
Really? Interesting. I did not know that.
So the Carey boys and the Carey family continuing their legacy.
Whole family. Oh, I love that. Not good last night, but I guess Oakland leading right now as St. Louis up to bat in the top of the 7th. One game that I was watching earlier, game of the day, I would say, maybe game of the season, maybe Padres and Brewers earlier this afternoon.
It was zip forever.
Sure
Yeah,
was.
that was a great game. That was a real great game.
And San Diego, their starting pitcher, Michael King, had a no-hitter going through 6 innings.
Yeah, he did.
Comes out in the 7th. Brewers get a hit, but it's still 0-0. I think San Diego might have hit a triple to start the bottom of the 7th. Certainly had a guy on third, the top of the 8th. And I think had guys on top of the 7th as well. Brewers able to get out of both those innings without allowing a run. They're able to drive in a run in the bottom of the 8th and win the game 1-0 with a combined 8 hits in the game. I mean, if you like pitching, if you like defense, that was the game earlier today, and I loved every second of it.
I'm trying to find that box score and see, because last night, even in high-scoring games, the run times are lickety-split.
204 was that game.
Whew,
yeah.
204. Well, you got the last call in the 7th inning about $140 in.
That's right. It's a quick one.
204. Last night, some speedy game times.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And hey, that's what baseball wants, and I guess they're getting it. So.
Cubs and Diamondbacks have had some wild games.
Sure, absolutely. That game, and I still don't know. I mean, maybe I have no idea how to. So last night, I'm watching all the games. I've got basketball on television. I'm watching late Chicago and Arizona's playing. I've got that on my computer. I can't remember if St. Louis and Oakland was still on. And I'm watching it, and the game is in the bottom of the 9th. And Arizona's up to bat. And what I'm watching says they are down 1 run in the bottom of the 9th inning, and they end up flying out. Game's over. So I turn it off. Diamondbacks lost, whatever.
Game not over.
I get home today, and my brother is watching the White Sox game. White Sox playing a doubleheader today against the Royals, and they go to this little segment of news and notes from around Major League Baseball, and they were like, what a crazy game that was last night between the Cubs and the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks won 13-11, and I was like, what in the world happened? Because I could have sworn up and down that game was over when I stopped watching it. I still have no idea how it happened.
It got real crazy and hit somebody the 13-run pool.
There you go.
Arizona in the World Series last year, right now the standings, they don't mean a lot. You can get too far behind.
Sure.
And I think for a team like Miami that squeezed into the playoffs last year, they're probably already there, and the White Sox, I'm sorry for Connor, they weren't going to be around.
No.
Houston's the good example. Houston's going to have a run. They're going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
Don't dig too much deeper.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And for them, it's just been such a struggle. I mean, they've got so many injuries to that pitching rotation. I mean, their pitchers are just not very good. They were leading today against Atlanta for a while. Atlanta comes back and wins it in the 10th inning, 5-4. But, I mean, that AL West, I mean, there's a lot of kind of funny starts to the season. Rangers, I know they're 10-9 right now with a win today, but they haven't been very good to start the season. Seattle hasn't been very good. Houston hasn't been very good. So that one's going to be an interesting, battle to watch throughout the season like it was last year.
The Cardinals still have not been more than 1 game over 500 all season. That was the high water mark last year at 2-1. And if they lose today, they fall back to 1 under. So then you got to get 2 in a row to get back to a 1 over, and 3 in a row to get to a high water mark. But the Cardinals, they're a little bit young and they're a little bit old. And the old's not doing anything, and the young is too much to ask for.
Yeah.
You can understand Jordan Walker with some scuffles, but the Arenado Goldschmidt struggles really continue.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, you mentioned it. I mean, 3 runs these last couple of games, and I mean, just the bat has not been there for the Cardinals this year, and it seems like in a lot of other areas they're finding a ton of success. I think pitching has been better than I thought it would be to start the season from starters and relievers. I think fielding's been great.
Relief's been good.
Really
and Brian, you remember a few years ago I lost my mind when they wouldn't go after Juan Soto, but we made the deal for JoJo Romero.
That's right. Oh, our buddy JoJo.
He was good last summer at AutoZone Park, and I mentioned a couple of times he needs his shot. He's cashing in.
He sure is.
He's gotten people out when they go to him. A couple others as well. When they give Heisley, Henley, Helmsley the lead, he's pretty good with it.
Yeah.
I still don't really know what his name is.
Helmsley.
But is it Helmsley or Heisley?
Heisley, I don't know. You're
Whatever it is.
me now.
Okay. But you look at the averages: Donovan 239, Goldschmidt 182, Newtbar 222, Arenado now over 300, Contreras over 300, Gorman $194, Walker 180. It's light hitting.
Yeah, it just hadn't been there. It has not been there all season long, and it's got to come around. If it doesn't come around, you're going to be talking about what we were talking about last year. And
no, this year it's going to be different. If it doesn't come around this year, at trade deadline, you're going to be talking about dealing Goldschmidt and Arenado.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about
and
that.
Should.
Because there were some murmurs this offseason, but nothing too loud, I don't think.
And news today in St. Louis that the Cardinals want some public money for a refurbishing upkeep of new Busch Stadium now in its 20th year. And I just don't know if there's an appetite out there in any market. We know here what that's like.
Yeah, no, we've seen it, and we saw it a couple weeks ago with Kansas City when they
and
put that
Bill
in the
DeWitt's
vote.
not as wealthy as Robert Pera. But plenty wealthy.
Sure, absolutely. So that will definitely be something to keep an eye on. Ryan Helsley.
Thank you.
Is the final name check on the closer for the Cardinals.
Did you watch the pregame show last night that was just dedicated to Whitey Herzog?
No, I missed it.
It was real good.
Was it? Oh,
and
man,
then
I missed that.
And then pregame and then during the game. I didn't realize this about Al Roboski. Well, he pitched for Whitey Herzog in Kansas City. He never pitched for him with the Cardinals.
Wow.
I didn't know that. I really remembered that.
Wow, interesting. I know I saw the St. Louis Post-Dispatch did the full front page of the sports was all about Whitey today, so I thought that was really cool to see. We talked a lot about that yesterday, but cool to see all this stuff from St. Louis.
A lot of the local St. Louis pushback naturally to the public money that Bill DeWitt and the Cardinals want is they don't know that area has delivered economically as promised, and you'll just keep pouring money into Ballpark Village and downtown. In downtown St. Louis, experiencing a lot of things a lot of downtowns are experiencing, and don't discount this fact. The record. If the Cardinals Cardinals had been to the NLCS last year, and right now we're sailing along, there'd be a lot bigger appetite to spend than it is.
I hate to say it, but you're absolutely right. That's just how it goes.
Same with the Grizzlies and the Tigers.
No, you are absolutely right about that. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on when it comes to the Cardinals. But let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Challenging, purposeful, rewarding.
I was the only female in my class, so I call them my brothers to this day because they supported me, they helped me. Like, I couldn't do pull-ups. I went to the gym, we worked out together, so it was fun.
We have the unique opportunity as deputies of interacting with people at some of the worst and sometimes most transitional or pivotal moments of their lives.
Come join our team. Become a patrol deputy with the Shelby County Sheriff's Office.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
It's the Dodge Power Shot Day's last call, and that means it's time to get your best deal at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the pike. Feel exhilarated in 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4x4, $25,889 or $389 a month. And get yours before they're gone. 2023 Dodge Charger SXT, $29,969 or $459 a month. And during Ram Truck Month, get 2024 Ram 2500 Tradesman Crew Cab, $6,000 off MSRP. Plus 0% for 72 months on select models. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the pike. Online, GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 75 months at 8.99%. Renegade Triple P 56,520. MSRP 31,095. Charger PH 651,421. MSRP 36,420. Ram RG 193,472. MSRP 65,925. AP offer at 72 months. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brown. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, I think this big number today could be called a lazy big number. I might get some hate from both of y'all for this big number because of where I got it from.
No hate, Brian. It's just constructive criticism.
Yeah, no hate, no hate, no hate.
Sure, whatever. I don't believe y'all. So I took this directly from the TNT broadcast last night after the Golden State Warriors and Sacramento Kings game. So my big number is 25, I believe. What was the score? What was the final score of that game last night? I have to double check my big number now.
I'll have to look too.
And of course now my computer is acting slow. You know what? We'll just roll with it. We'll roll with punches. That's on me.
It was 26.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, good,
that makes it even
job,
better. Yes, good job, Brett.
No, I don't think that's right either. It was 24.
It's 24.
Oh, dang.
Okay. So my big number is now 24. That makes sense. My big number is 24. That's final. It was last night the largest win versus the Golden State Warriors since February 2006. February 2006.
That's a good number.
When Sacramento beat the Golden State Warriors by 25 points.
It's over for the Warriors, isn't it?
Doesn't feel good. I mean, if you're a Warriors fan, I don't think you woke up this morning going, all right, next year, we got it.
I just don't see how they can get better.
What's the deepest Steph Curry goes into playoffs the rest of his career if he stays in Golden State? Win a series?
Yeah, I think
he can win a series.
Yeah, I don't know.
But no Western Conference.
No,
finals.
I just don't see him going to the Western Conference. But like he can win a series because he's Steph Curry.
There's just too many other teams out there, and the Grizzlies are going to get back in this mix if
that's
the
what I'm
blessing
saying.
of good health.
Yeah.
San Antonio.
Yeah, you got to
They're
start.
on the rise with Wemby.
By the end of Curry, here comes Wemby and some help.
That's right. So it's gonna be
My big
interesting.
number is 79. It was going to continue into a 79th year this year just with Skip Carey. With Chip Carey. I get them confused. With Chip Carey, the Cardinal announcer. Yeah. But we know it's been 79 years. Since 1945, there's been a member of the Carey family calling baseball games in Major League Baseball. Harry Carey started with the Cardinals in 1945. Chip's dad, Skip, with the Braves, and he was a really good NBA announcer calling the Atlanta Hawks, and before that, the St. Louis Hawks. That's how he got to the South. He was calling the St. Louis Hawks when they moved to Atlanta. And Chip Carey has done a really good job in a lot of different markets, notably the Braves, and now in St. Louis. And he's going to pass it along to his son, who's with the A's. So let's say he keeps it going for 21 more years. He's 24 years old. He can do that easily. It'll be 100 years of the Carey family calling baseball.
That is incredible. That's unbelievable.
And Harry Carey was great in St. Louis with Jack Buck. He was great in Chicago, but he became a larger-than-life figure.
Sure.
And really and kind of bought into that, and it paid very well.
Absolutely. And that's what matters, if it's a good paying job. But that's incredible. I mean,
but his son Skip, who is the Cardinal announcer, Chip's dad. I'm telling you, it gets confusing. But Skip Carey on Braves games with the advent of TBS and all their games. He was on with Ernie Johnson. He was on with John Sterling. Mm-hmm. He was on with the 6-letter palindrome Dwayne Statz, who is now with the Tampa Bay Rays. They were great, but him doing Atlanta Hawks games late 70s, early 80s when TBS was in its infancy, he was great at it.
Oh, I believe it. That's just incredible. I mean, much better than my big number. I got to give you credit.
That was a fantastic
Johnny,
big number.
Watch it.
Whoa.
I thought yours was great, Brian. Don't knock yourself.
I'm not knocking myself. Yours is
Whoa,
better.
Brian. You defended me with Sam Stevens. I'm going to defend you with 24, 25, 26.
Whatever it was.
Brett, you see what he do? I'm trying to give you your credit. He didn't want me to
say. You went through this long phase, Johnny, where you would come in every day and you go, oh, yeah, Brett's number was better than yours, Brian.
Hey.
So I just make sure we're going there.
Brett, I got to call a spade, man. Hey, you be having them big numbers now.
Yeah, good big number. I can't knock it. At all. But we do need to get to a break and wrap up this hour. And when we come back, a lot of basketball to discuss. We had the Western Conference play-in games last night, Eastern Conference play-in games tonight. Regular playoffs start on Saturday, so plenty of basketball to talk to. Also, got to talk a little bit of Grizzlies, and the perfect person to do all of that with, it's Rob Fisher, and we're talking to him next.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no-obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
If you're like most people, you've had your fair share of financial questions. Questions like, can I afford my son's travel hockey team? What if my daughter doesn't get that soccer scholarship? Will I be able to enjoy golf in retirement? At Empower, we know these questions can be stressful. We're here to help answer your what ifs and empower what's next. Join 18 million Americans and take control of your financial future. Start today at empower.com. Sponsored by Empower Personal Wealth.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Tyler from Wendy's here. The best part of Wendy's new Cinnabon Pull-Apart is every part. Unlike mornings, which have no good parts. Until now. Because with Wendy's new breakfast Cinnabon Pull-Apart, mornings finally don't completely suck. And now that mornings have warm cinnamon sugar rolled dough and ooey gooey frosting, are they the best part of every day? Probably not, but you get the idea. Get to Wendy's today and get the best part in every bite with the new Cinnabon Pull-Apart.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, Cinnabon is a registered trademark of Cinnabon Franchise or SPV, LLC.
All 650 acquisition, B30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details, offer valid through 4/30/2024, dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, what's happening over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah Wonderland?
Randy, we are making magic on Mount Moriah. 2024 Kia Forte LXS 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month, and a 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease.
And 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9, and always get peace of mind with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
So get over there, Gossett Kia South, 2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Hernando, Little Rock, and Cleveland, Mississippi specializes in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds. Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's pretty saturated over here with a lot of volume on 240 eastbound here at Mount Moriah. Some of that traffic's either getting onto 385 and some of it's continuing eastbound where it's pretty slow on 240 east here up by Poplar. Now it's loading up also right on schedule actually on 40 east from Sycamore View Road as you head on out towards Germantown Parkway, continuing on into Fayette County. A little bit busy from time to time today. 55 as we look at it live over here around Crump in that road construction. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, 7525. Highway 64 getting ready for Mother's Day is just around the corner. Go by and see them now at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. And joining us now, talk some NBA, talk some Grizzlies. Rob Fisher from Bally Sports and Grind City Media joins us to talk a whole bunch of stuff. Rob, how's it going? I guess now officially off season for you.
Yeah, it's going well. Enjoying some afternoon Cardinals baseball, although the score could be a little different.
Yeah, so not really enjoying it, I guess isn't the right word. Enjoyed some Braves baseball today. That was a good game against the Houston Astros. So just taking my week off and relaxing.
There you go.
What did you know that you told everybody else on the crew, behind the scenes, off the record, oh, boy, we got one on our hands this year?
When?
Yeah.
I would say when the Steven Adams news came out.
Ooh.
Right before the season started, you knew you were without Ja for 25 games, and then that news comes out about Steven Adams, and to me, I felt like it was going to be a difficult season, a difficult way to fit him or fill his space, and although I never imagined it would be what it turned out to be, but I truly. I remember we did a show on Grind City Media. It was a preseason show, I guess it was, and the news came out right before our show, the Steven Adams news, and everybody was like, "Well, you can do this, and this can happen, and this guy can do this, and last year next man up, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Wait a second, y'all are crazy. This is going to be a disaster."
Brace yourselves.
Yeah, but I didn't know it would take the turn for what it actually did. Probably that moment was when you had 3 consecutive days, I think, where Ja, Desmond, and Marcus Smart went down, and it was like, my goodness, this isn't going to be good. And as soon as Ja went down, you felt like it wasn't going to be good.
I'm not trying to be a funny guy when I ask this. How did they decide on who was in the end of the year team picture?
I believe it was everybody who was on contract. So the two-way guys were not. The only two-way guy that is Scotty, but he's got a 2-year two-way contract. So he'll be back next year. The others, you don't know. You don't know what will happen next year. So I think that because I looked over it as well, and I wondered who all was going to be on this next year. But it's the guys who are under contract, the guys who are on the roster, I should say, and then Scottie Pippen Jr.
That's going to be one for all time to name the people in that photo.
Man, it's we had the one where we had the 28 players, and most of them are in that photo because they all ended the season with the team. But this one's going to be one of those. And unfortunately, you'll recognize a lot of the faces. Just didn't recognize them playing this year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I obviously not the season that anybody expected before the year started, but there were some bright spots. You saw what you have in Vince Williams. You saw what you have in G.G. Jackson. What was the biggest thing you saw from those guys this year?
Well, I think you saw that they can be in your rotation and be, because I think your biggest question I thought going into this season and really the last couple of seasons, how good are you 7 through 10, 7 through 11? How good are you? And can those guys make improvements? And, I think last year we saw Santi take a big leap. But then this year, you're wondering, is it Jake? Is it Zaire? Is it one of those guys? And, for Jake's sake, he did a great job taking advantage of the opportunity late in the season. But bottom line is you found Gigi and you found Vince, who are better than anything you've had at those positions. So I think that's the huge thing. You found guys that can actually be in your rotation. You found a guy in Vince Williams who is a dogged defender, who has a little ability offensively, can play make a little bit as well. But what he does defensively, I'm not saying he replaces Dylan Brooks, but he can replace that position of what Dylan Brooks was. And then G.G. Jackson, my goodness, what he showed this year, he's what you've wanted since you lost Rudy Gay, a big athletic wing that can score, that can go to the basket and can shoot threes. And he's shown that he can do it at the age of 19. So I think, Brevin always says it too. These guys, you want to see what else they can do because the perfect scenario is these guys are playing 12, 15 minutes a game. That's it. So what can they do in that time? And I think they both showed that they can do a lot of different things, and that's exciting. That was an exciting part of the season for sure. I mean, we tried to come up with all the silver linings for the season, and those two are definitely at the top of the list. And I think the other thing was that they played hard every night, and I think that's a credit to Coach Jenkins and his staff and to the players themselves to be able to come out and have that sort of effort night in and night out, regardless of who was playing.
Rob, I said it Monday when we visited with DeMichael Cole, and I'll say it to you. I think it's a pure D miracle to win 27. It's something you might look back on and in an odd way be very proud of. Rob, you also know the rules of sports talk radio. We have to compare a young player to a player from the past. You help write the rules of sports talk radio. So who do you compare G.G. Jackson to?
Well, I'm sorry, I got distracted there. My dog just got on my.
Who do you compare Gigi to from the past?
Oh God, stats. Yeah, that is the age-old.
You got to do it.
Sports talk radio. We got to do it. We got to have comps. Man, I don't know. I have no idea because I don't know what the ceiling is. And just to be honest with you, I mean,
and he's got to grow up a little. He's 19.
Right, grow up a little. I mean, heck. Talk to me in 2 years.
Yeah.
When he's 21 and he's playing real NBA. Talk to me next year when he's playing real NBA minutes in meaningful games that you hope for playoff games or games that have playoff implications. And what happens when he's in that scenario? Does he make the mistakes that he did at 19, or does he take a huge leap next year? I don't know. I mean, the ceiling is so high that you don't want to put that sort of comparison on him, but you don't want to compare him to someone that I think makes the basement too low. Like I said, it's what we've looked for since we lost Rudy Gay. I don't want to compare him to Rudy Gay. Rudy Gay's had a really nice career, but G.G. Jackson's ceiling, you feel like, should be past that.
Yeah, no, it absolutely should be.
I'm scared to throw any comp out. He's too young for me.
I think that's the right answer. During the exit interview, Zach Kleiman said top priority this offseason is bringing in a center. I think that's what a lot of people have realized that should be the focus this offseason. Who are some names you think could be in the mix for the Grizzlies? How do you think they go about bringing in a big man?
Well, it'll be interesting. I mean, do you draft a big man, and is that your starter? I think that's dangerous if you go that route. Now, granted, you got 4 really good players around him, so maybe you can hide him a little bit. But at that position in the Western Conference, I don't know if there's much hiding. Jaren can help with that, but I think that would be difficult. I wouldn't mind drafting one of these centers and having them be your backup. Because I think there are a couple of guys that are interesting out there. The Wendell Clarks and Hartenstein and Claxton. Those are some of the names that you hear floated around as potential possibilities for the Grizzlies at this point. But I don't know. I don't know what. Are you looking for Steven Adams 2.0? Or are you looking for something different? What are you actually looking for? And it seems like, do you want a center that's going to also step outside and shoot threes? So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Big is definitely the choice. Big is where you've got to go. I guess if I could pick one or the other, I'd love to have one of those veterans that I mentioned and then throw a draft pick in there behind him as well. Yeah.
Rob, with the blessing of good health, just some semblance of a normal year on and off the court with injuries and expectations, I think the Grizzlies are better than all 4 of those Western Conference teams that played last night.
Oh, I agree with that completely. I see no reason not to think the Grizzlies are healthy, a top 3 team. I mean, why not? They were top 2 twice.
That's right.
So why not be top 2 again? And every time I say that, you hear the same thing from people. It's, the West is a gauntlet. The West is a gauntlet. The West was a gauntlet when the Grizzlies finished twice.
Breaking news. It always has been.
Right. But they showed that they were one of the best teams that held the top spot in the Western Conference for a while.
Yeah.
So why not? And again, I think if your biggest question with the Grizzlies was depth, look how much better your depth is by just adding these 3 guys. I mean, I'll throw Scottie Pippen Jr. in there. I mean, how much better your depth is than it was to start this season.
Yeah.
What it's going to be going into next year. So, sure, the West is tough, and it's a gauntlet, but the Grizzlies are part of that. I don't think the Grizzlies would have taken a step, if they were healthy this year, I don't think they would have taken a step back at all.
The West has always been like this. The first year the Grizzlies were in Memphis, the Los Angeles Lakers had 2 guys named Shaq and Kobe.
Right. Well, and, I mean, just look back this year. It was Phoenix and the Clippers.
Yeah.
Phoenix and the Clippers. Nobody else.
Yeah.
Well, no. Other teams step up. Other teams drop. Now all of a sudden we'll start looking at, which teams are going to drop out of the playoffs next year? And everybody will say Golden State, that they're done. But everybody else is getting better. Everybody else is getting better. There's not much room in the playoffs. But then it plays out, and you see teams drop every year. And other teams climb. And the Grizzlies are prime for climbing next year for sure.
Well, you just kind of mentioned it, but kind of the conversation today after what happened with Golden State last night, did we watch the end of the dynasty last night?
Felt like it.
Yeah.
Draymond's comments after the game just were kind of somber. Clay taking it all in as he walked off the floor after that performance. I mean, man, I can't, because of the financial situation the Golden State Warriors are in, they have to move on. They have to.
Yeah, that money's crazy.
I mean, how do you run it back without having to get more guys, more veteran players, and where do you come up with the money to do it? I think it's gotten to a point where you can't pay Clay. You can't. I mean, he's saying he wants $30 million. My goodness. I don't think they'll sniff that.
No.
I can't blame him for wanting it, but they're crazy if they pay it.
Right. Exactly. So I don't know. I think they should move on. But I don't know what that looks like. I mean, it starts with not having Clay, but what do you do with Draymond's contract? What do you do? Do you let Steph play with a bunch of young players and go through the draft and then maybe try to find a deal where you can deal him at some point? I don't know. I mean, it looks scary. I heard you mention, I guess it was today at the beginning of the show stats where you mentioned we won't see him for another 10,000 years.
I hope so. Hope it's 100,000.
I mean, it looks like, man, it looks like it's hitting hard for the Golden State Warriors.
And it's how the end usually looks. I mean, only the Lakers, and I think it's largely a lot of times with the Lakers, not even the Celtics, but with the Lakers, the league's invested in the Lakers always making that move, and they always have, whether it was Wilt Chamberlain or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or in the draft to get James Worthy and Magic Johnson in a back-to-back couple of drafts, to then, Shaq and Kobe, to LeBron James, to Anthony Davis. They're not as invested in Golden State. I also said, can you believe a player with Golden State became more reviled than Rick Barry, Mr. Revulsion?
No kidding. I mean, and you think what he cost his team again this year.
Yeah.
For all the games he missed. Well, how many of those games would they have won, and what position would they have been in the playoffs?
I don't think he cost them a championship this year, but he cost them seeding.
No question. He cost them seeding. Maybe a situation where either you play in the first play-in game or you're not even in the play-in.
Yeah.
It certainly was a factor. So, and they were just a mess, and their depth just isn't good enough. And, I mean, last night Steph had to be a magician for them to have a chance. And, he had a good game, but it wasn't, magical. And you needed Clay. And Clay, you can't count on Clay anymore. He's a bench guy.
Right. Well, what'd you make of that first game? Lakers and Pelicans really became a great game down the stretch. Pelicans come back, and then it's super back and forth down the stretch. Zion goes down with an injury in the final minutes that kind of leads to that Lakers win. But he was fantastic. 40-point game for him. What'd you make of that first one, the Lakers getting through to be the 7th seed?
Yeah, the Lakers are weird because the game that the Grizzlies played the Lakers and lost by 3.
Last Friday night.
That whole game I thought to myself, I'm like, the Lakers played well. You know, it wasn't like they played poorly, but they just kept letting you hang around and let you make a run. And they did that last night, too, where they let you, because, they didn't play poorly last night, but they let them hang around. They let them make a run. The biggest thing for the Lakers right now is how can you not be a teammate of LeBron James and give it everything you got? I mean, those 2 charges he took last night, one looked like a car wreck where it knocked him off his feet. I mean, how can you not play hard? How can you not give that sort of playoff effort? And I think they did, and they got the win. They got the win barely. I think it's going to be quick work made by the Denver Nuggets of the Lakers. I just think the Denver Nuggets are just much, much more talented than Dallas or than Los Angeles. And Los Angeles is going to have their role players play exceptionally well, and they'll have to do it for 4 games. And I just don't think that's possible. I would give the Lakers a chance to get a game, but I don't think it goes more than 5 for Denver. And then for New Orleans, disappointing. Zion has that sort of game and then has to leave the game and now is out for Friday night as well. That hurts them. I don't think they have a chance against Sacramento. The problem with New Orleans is they don't have a point guard. I mean, they put C.J. McCollum at the point guard position, and C.J. McCollum's not a point guard.
No.
And so they don't have a point guard. When Alvarado plays, they actually play better. He's just not that good. So you lose that, but you gain that they're playing better basketball, but you're losing the talent on the floor. So I don't know. That's their biggest problem is that CJ's out of position, and I think that hurts them. And boy, he was awful last night. So I think without Zion, though, I really like Sacramento.
Rob,
well.
The other side of that blessing of good health. All right, we get that next year. The Grizzlies get it. It's all kind of manageable, under control. What's a big area of improvement that they really have to concentrate on?
Well, they got to get better with their transition defense.
I was going to say defense.
And, I mean, I think that was a big problem this year. But other than, there are so many things you look at this year and you say that they can get better at just because of what you were playing with. But
right.
And I apologize for Storm barking at nothing.
That's okay.
But defensively, that's where you just want to keep getting better because, in theory, your defense gets better. It makes your offense better. Now, the offense can't be ranked 30th. Now, again, we know why the offense was ranked 30th. Mm-hmm. But it's got to be better. And they were going to try new things this year. And, Taylor Jenkins said they did try some things, and they looked at things and evaluated things, what works, what doesn't work, and then those sorts of things. So I'm sure they'll come back with a fresh new idea next year. But you can't have an offense that's 30th. If you want to be a contender in this league, you need to be top 10 of both categories, or at least close to top 10 of both categories. And anything other than that, well, you just won't get there.
Is that my rushing stat in football? You got to be in the top 10 in both?
Yeah, you can use that.
I like that.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. I mean, look at the teams that'll be left at the end. I think last year all 4 teams were like top 10 in both. The last 4 teams, but that's you can't be 1 in one category and 30 in the other and think it's going to average out. You're going to be fine. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Talking to Rob Fisher, he joins us. He's going to join us every week through the NBA playoffs. Talk a lot of NBA, but The Cardinals, they fall to the Athletics 6-3 today, but I do want to bring up the Cardinals because yesterday the news of Whitey Herzog, his passing, just certainly really sad. We talked a lot about that yesterday, but I know you from St. Louis, Whitey Herzog, he was and is still a big deal in St. Louis.
Legendary. I mean, until probably 2000, Stats, you can attest to this. Cardinal fans, if there was a managerial possibility of a change, they still would say, call Whitey Herzog up. I mean, the guy's 85 years old, and they still wanted to call Whitey Herzog up. I mean, he was a legend. His numbers retired.
We even would suggest it for other teams. They need to hire Whitey Herzog.
They need to hire Whitey. Exactly. I grew up with Whitey Ball, and it was so much fun to watch as a kid, and he was such a character that was fun to follow. I'm so thrilled. I have my picture taken with him when I was 13 years old.
Wow.
And he signed a ball for me, and I got a picture taken with him, 6 years ago now at Belle Reve?
Yeah.
Country Club for the PGA Championship. He was there, and I got my picture taken with him, and I'm happy I got to see him, and I mean, Stats, you know how excited I was when I saw him.
We kind of hogged him from everybody else, didn't we?
A little bit, but he was so pleasant, and just to talk Cardinal baseball with him was really a treat, and because it brought me back to my childhood watching Cardinal baseball. So yeah, sad day yesterday with the passing of the White Rat, but I'll always remember him as my manager growing up for sure.
The couple of brawls, notably with the Giants, one with
I was at one, Stats. I was at the Giants one.
And Candy Maldonado got his money's worth on Ozzie that day.
Yeah, I was sitting behind the third base dugout where all hell broke loose, and Mike Keith jumped out from the stands. He was a Cardinal at the time, one of the worst Cardinals of all time, and he jumped out from the stands and got involved in the brawl, and that was a real brawl. That was jerseys getting torn and fighting words and
lips getting busted.
That was fun. That was real stuff then.
Yeah, that was a dandy, and the only place in the league that really got on Ozzie hard was Candlestick, and we got on Jeffrey Leonard hard and paid it back. The rivalries with the Mets in the 80s, and Whitey generated a lot of that.
Yeah, he did, and wasn't afraid to talk about it. And so, I mean, that made it great. That's why you loved him, because you were winning, and you could talk some trash. And if you got trash talked to, if you got the trash talked to, you talked it right back to it. So it was fun. It was a fun era, and I just always remember Whitey. I mean, if you ask me about my manager and Cardinal baseball, the first name that comes to mind is Whitey for sure.
That's awesome. Well, it's going to be a lot of fun this weekend as we get the NBA playoffs up and rolling. Saturday, first day.
And Rob, one more thing. Do you remember, especially with him there in 82 at the World Series, remember when we were convinced Whitey was going to deliver George Brett to St. Louis?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we were. Didn't happen.
Didn't happen. In Arkansas, we were convinced we were going to get Kevin McReynolds, too. Didn't happen either.
Jeez. What a time.
No. Yeah, no, we were convinced Whitey'd bring anybody he wanted, and anybody'd want to play with him.
Wow. Well, as always, Rob, thanks so much for joining us.
Great
And
stuff,
next week, I'm going to have to get hockey picks from you. I didn't forget, you're our hockey insider.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. NHL insider. I'll be ready for that next week. Perfect. For sure. Yeah, let's go. Let's go hockey. Go Puck.
Sports Overnight Radio in Las Vegas with Hockey Insider Rob Fisher.
That's right. That's how you got to introduce me.
Will do.
Thank you, Rob.
Talk to you later, Rob.
All right, guys.
Thank you so much. Rob Fisher with us from the Grizzlies TV and from Grind City Media, and I knew you'd want to talk about Whitey Herzog. Rob was 10 during the 82 World Series. I was 20. My behavior was much worse than his at that age, but he did love that time, and it was really special for him growing up there and going to the ballpark with his dad. A lot of fun nights. We can have fun with all driving together with something from All Star Chevrolet. Take that drive down to Mississippi, first exit, Kraft Goodman Road on Highway 78, and you're there. And if you want to get charged up, come out to All Star in Olive Branch, test drive one of the new EV Blazers. They have them, and you'll love them. It's still Chevy truck season, and if you're ready for a new Silverado, all the Silverados with financing down to 2.9 for 72 months and thousands back in cash and trade. The new Equinox and Trailblazers with 1.9 financing, no payments on those for 90 days. Your good credit deserves it, and you get it at All Star. If you want something pre-owned, they have that. Ram trucks, Tahoe, Suburban, Jeeps, the Traverse with third row seating. If it's not there, they can find it easily. Ask Kevin or Jeff. They'll be on the lookout for it and have it for you in a couple of days. Military, teachers, college students, first responders, healthcare workers, you all get an extra $500 bonus back instantly. Where are we going for graduation, for Mother's Day, for that first big summer road trip, for a baseball game, off to camp for youngsters? Better yet, what are you going to be driving? You need to be driving something from All-Star Chevrolet. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah, not Bartlett or Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. Come on down to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch today, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about what's trending.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. Add in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
A good friend of mine often says that golfers are the best athletes. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors. Now, I don't want to embarrass Ed by mentioning his name, but if you stop and think about it, he may be right. Just like the best real estate agent may not be who you think. Like a left tackle in football, a golfer hits it hard off the tee. Like a sprinter, the golfer walks down the fairway to reach his ball. Then like a quarterback who wants to connect with a distant target, the golfer hits the ball again, and in my case, again and again and again. So if you or someone you know is thinking of selling a home, draft your team by interviewing the players. Find out who will block that offensive lineman from knocking your deal down. And find out about the Shell Bucks option play. When interviewing, call or email me to find out why people often say, when you want the job done, call Shell Done. You can reach me at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. That's 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now and don't fumble that ball.
You can't say that.
But it's true.
You just made that up.
No, I didn't. You can get to any Central Barbecue location from anywhere in Memphis in 10 minutes, depending on traffic.
You made that up.
Try me.
Bartlett.
The Summer Avenue Central Barbecue.
Germantown.
Not Memphis, but the Poplar location.
South Memphis.
Downtown.
Olive Branch.
Again, not Memphis, but the South Haven Central Barbecue.
I still don't think you say you can get to there for any of them in 10 minutes.
Well, that's why it's depending on traffic.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. 5-Ash Roofing, the name to know. 5-Ash Roofing, the only way to go. 5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. 5-Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. 5-Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5-Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their valuable tools, but to protect their professional reputations. For pros, the WeatherGuard badge makes a statement about what drives them. It says, "Bring it on. Been there. Done that. We've got your back," without saying a word. And the folks at WeatherGuard, they're just as driven as the hardworking pros they serve. See what it means to be driven at WeatherGuard.com.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better? I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. We're still trying to finish up a couple of earlier accidents. It remains heavy in a couple of spots, like 55 southbound down through South Haven into DeSoto County. Just that time of the afternoon for that to get a little bit busy down through that section of town, south of town, should I say. It's really busy over here on 240 East, working your way past Poplar as that traffic increases with more volume up through Midtown on I-40, especially headed over towards Danny Thomas. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. They want to remind you that Mother's Day is just around the corner. Go by and see them right now at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, we mentioned it, a lot of day baseball today in Major League Baseball. We've got a ton of finals around the league. Mentioned it earlier, Athletics beat the Cardinals 6-3. That drops Cardinals down to 9-10 on the season. Athletics, look out, 8-11 on the year for them. Mariners over Reds. Royals beat the White Sox in their first game. Now the White Sox up 1-0 in the second game of that doubleheader. Giants over Marlins. Orioles over Twins. Mets, big winners over the Pirates. Rangers over Tigers. Brewers over Padres. And we discussed a lot of those other ones earlier. Cubs and D-backs, though, 5-3 final score there. Cubs with a win after a wild one last night. But some good games today.
11-7 for the Cubbies. They're counting on Craig Counsell and off to a good start. The Nationals 2-0 over the Dodgers. Yankees win again. No shocker there. That payroll, those players.
Yeah. No, I mean, when you have that, it's you've got to deliver. You've got to win these games.
It buys them into October. Sure. Then it gets really sketchy from then on. You got to avoid a lot of pitfalls and have a little bit of a luck even for that. But the payroll gets them to October.
Yeah,
it will get the Dodgers to October.
No, you're absolutely right about that. I mean, they've got the team, and I trust them. I mean, there have been games where watching it, I've said, okay, well, this team doesn't look very good. But, I mean, I trust them to win enough to get there. But I don't know. I don't know if I trust them at all once we get to playoff time. I definitely didn't pick them to go all the way when we did picks before the season, but I don't know how far I think they'll go. I mean, I know they're built for it, but
I like Baltimore, but I like that division.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That division's been good. Baltimore, I mean, they're young, but they've been good.
Nobody under 500?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's been fun. I think that's going to be one where I mentioned it earlier with the AL West, and I think that's still going to be crazy this year. But last year, when you had Seattle started making a run, Houston looked like a really good team. We know what Texas ended up becoming. They won the World Series, and it was like, what team out of this is going to make it? You know, one's going to win the division, one could get in as a wild card, but one's going to have to be left out probably. I think we're going to have the same situation in maybe a couple different divisions this year.
I picked Miami tonight. Both of y'all picked Philadelphia. Right now on the front page at ESPN.com, there's a picture of Adebayo covering Embiid, and you clearly see the Heat jersey, and it says Heat culture.
Yeah.
They have that. They have established that.
Absolutely.
They've done it with a couple different head coaches, most notably, significantly, with Pat Riley, with him running the whole show. But Eric Spoelstra's accomplished that. That's what we want to get to with the Grizzlies. The Golden State, they certainly had it. The Lakers have it. The Celtics have it. We want to get there with the Grizzlies, and I think going through the trial and tribulation of this year, if that doesn't help you establish one, then it might not be attainable for this group.
Yeah, no, I think you want to be kind of that established team, that established brand that, you know, when you see them on the schedule, when you see them in the playoffs, you know that they have the makings for a run. I mean, you said it earlier when we made picks. You know, the Heat are kind of the Mr. Play-in. You know, they have found ways to
got a lot of pride
in those. They do, and so they have kind of built that Heat culture, everything that goes with it. And so I think the Grizzlies, with what they have, that foundation that they have with these star players and what they've started to build around it, I think it looks like you could definitely see that, but now they've got to go out next year and show that they're starting to create that kind of brand for themselves.
Way back to the first hour, I think it was your top story, was Tiger scheduling, right?
It was my not top story.
I'm sorry. So close enough.
You're close enough.
If it's not top, it's not top.
Yeah, it's one of the two.
It was big today in the news of Mississippi State and Ole Miss contractually with deals. Both those games will be at FedEx Forum. I'm hoping this year we have Christmas. Christmas is like on Wednesday.
Yeah,
let me make sure I'm right. Christmas is on Wednesday. So if you have either Ole Miss or State, say the 21st, and the other one the 28th, that would be a lot of buzz around the holiday season. A chance for both of those fan bases to come and enjoy Memphis. I know it's been a while, and it looks like it's probably not going to happen again in football with Ole Miss. I want a game with the Tigers. I don't make the schedule, so don't be mad at me about it. The Mississippi State thing has been done. I think they come back on in a few years. Yeah. But you know what Ole Miss does that Tennessee doesn't do? Play you in something.
That's right. Well, play in multiple.
That's true.
Multiple things.
Yeah.
I think pretty much everything other than football right now. They're pretty much playing.
Tennessee's, just straight kicking sand in your face.
That's right.
I want everything, as I often say, especially with the gas price. No matter what the gas price is, if they're giving it away, Ole Miss and Memphis needs to be playing.
No, I'm with you, and that's what regional rivalries are all about. And you talk about that proximity. I mentioned it earlier when I was talking. I mean, you have that game on a Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, and it seems like a perfect trip if Ole Miss, and even if Ole Miss isn't, but if Ole Miss has a start of the season similar to what they had last year, if that excitement is still there, I think plenty of fans will make that drive from Oxford up to Memphis.
For sure. What would you prefer for either of those games? Both of y'all, I want your opinions on this. Would you prefer, say, noon, 1 o'clock tip, and then have a Grizzly Saturday night game, and you might hold over a lot of those fans that are making the trip, or to heck with that, primetime Saturday night with the building buzzing for Tigers versus Bullies or Ole Miss?
Good, Johnny.
I say have it at prime time. I like it prime time, man. I really do like it at prime time, and I would prefer them to play Ole Miss. Me personally.
I would go. I mean, Brett, you know I love more basketball. I would say do the doubleheader if you can do it, and try to get some of those fans to
and the
get down there
downtown
and stay.
economic
Sure,
impact.
Sure, go to the game, go down Beale, get lunch somewhere, get an early dinner somewhere, and then come back in and enjoy a Grizzlies game.
And maybe put that Mizzou game on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can easily do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's a great idea. But it's exciting. I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record or anything, but I really do like how this non-conference schedule was setting up, and
I love it. I think I like it better than last year, and we loved last year.
Sure,
and the Tigers were successful.
They were very successful. Now, some of those games that we were very excited about turned out not to be as great as we thought they were going to be.
Well,
But-
imagine that. We can't
Sure.
see into the future
Sure.
with all these predictions we do.
That's right. I mean, some people probably think Johnny can with some of the predictions he's made.
Hey,
last night took a hit.
Hey, I took a big hit last night, bro.
Big hit, John.
Hey,
all right.
I don't want to talk about the showboats.
Well,
My
Showboat
picks
Bankroll.
right there.
All get
Showboat
ready. 2
Bankroll.
days. Showboat Bankroll back. Get after it. St. Louis this weekend.
Well, I hope the NCAA tournament maiden voyage for you wasn't the high water mark in one
Hope
fell
not.
swoop, Johnny.
I hope not.
Man, I don't know, man. Hopefully, I can bounce back. I didn't do good. I didn't do good on the tee either, man. I didn't do good on golf picks either.
No, when you
one
when you
weekend,
pick
I mean, good Lord.
when you pick first the second week, it's not a good sign.
No, it's not where you really want to
Hey,
be.
I'm already in the hole, Brett. Hey, Brett, like
where I'm at there,
managing money is a little hard, man.
It's the key.
Sure is.
You got to manage it. But I like the schedule for the Tigers, and we know how tough Maui's going to be.
Yeah.
I swear. I don't even know the roster. I take 1 and 2 at Maui.
Yeah. I mean,
Just don't go over.
if you can win a game out there, I'd be happy. And I don't care. Oh, well, what if they, get this guy out of the port or get this guy out of the port? I don't care.
2 and 1's a parade.
Oh, 2 and 1 is, I mean, it's beautiful.
It's meet them at the airport
Sure.
when the charter gets back.
Absolutely.
Which it'll be 2 days after they leave Maui.
Well,
that's
very
forever
true.
getting home.
Sure is. But no, I mean, I think you're kind of playing with house money in Maui just because it's going to be a test every single game, and I hope they get some fun matchups in those games, and you can see some of the best teams in the country in Maui. So it'll be fun, but I like it, and I think it'll be a lot of fun getting kind of both those Mississippi schools, and Ole Miss and Mississippi State. I mean, we know how big both those fan bases are here locally, and I mean, you can't walk into an establishment and not find a Ole Miss or a Mississippi State fan. So I think that's awesome, getting them and getting them both next year.
And the
to come
job
here.
Chris Jans has done.
Absolutely. Now, both of them. I mean, Chris Beard's done a really good job in year 1, but Chris Jans, what he has built and what he is starting to sustain there.
First
over a
Mississippi
couple of
State
years.
coach ever to go to the tournament his first 2 years there.
Yeah, really impressive. And is starting to kind of build his brand there in Starkville and really making it. There's not many teams in the SEC that want to travel down to Starkville to play in a conference game and see them in general. So it's been fun.
State's been a good neighbor, now playing first time regular season, as Jason Munns noted in his story, since '83. The football thing, it's always been intermittent. It was never year over year over year for a long time like Ole Miss was. I wish that would get back. Mentioned Tennessee. Going to have Arkansas in basketball, so a little bit, but 2 and 1, so a little bit can understand. But I think hopeless right now to ever see Arkansas in basketball and to ever see Tennessee in anything again.
It feels like it's a long shot for both those, but I guess you never know. Maybe with
if you had to do a 2 and 1 with Texas, Oklahoma, or Florida in football, who would you do it with?
Why this question at 5:44? I mean, I could sit here all
You've been
night
there all day
thinking
too.
about that.
That's a toughie.
That's such a good question, though.
The Tigers have played Florida
They
at
have.
Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium back in the 80s.
I think for selfish reasons, I would pick Florida because I'd want to go to the Swamp and see the Tigers down the Swamp. But that's just selfish reasons for me.
And it is, imagine this, a swamp is very steamy and humid.
Yes, very.
Very.
And they pack them in.
Very steamy.
We go there this year, Ole Miss. Hadn't won there since '08.
Is that right?
beating Tipo.
Well, I heard you, and I'm not even going to try the stat that you brought up during the
4 roadies next year.
Yeah, not much success in any of those places lately.
Last time to win at Florida, 08. Last time to win at LSU, 08. Last time to win in Fayetteville. It beat Arkansas and Little Rock.
Sure.
But to win in Fayetteville was 08. And the last time to win in Columbia against South Carolina, 04.
Wow, that's incredible. 04 one is wild.
Ethan Flatt at quarterback that day, and he played well.
Wow, how about that? Good for him. But yeah, so that's really tough. But no, I'd pick Florida. Being able to go down to the swamp. My dad went down to the swamp when Memphis and Florida played back whenever, and
the Tigers won.
He sure did, and he was getting it from a lot of Florida fans earlier in the game, and then turned around and gave it right back to them.
And I think that was a swelter heat box that day.
So. I think so.
It always is.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a swamp.
Sure is. That's why they get the name, Brett.
Yeah.
But he
they don't call it Nome, Alaska, do they?
No. It is the swamp. So, but really good schedule for them, and now the excitement building for football with the spring game on Saturday. So a lot of excitement, and should be a lot of excitement for both.
Right, I think I owe you that lunch for you actually listening to Saturday. Thank you.
Well, Brett, I watched almost the whole thing, and then when I was in the car, I was listening. I was very intrigued.
I'll go back to that lunch bet. You win.
Hey, Brett, you did a good job, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you, John.
Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, we'll wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders' team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Hey, Mid-South! Discover your new ride at Gossett Kia on the Pike. You want it? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, rear-wheel drive, $249 a month. Plus, Gossett Kia's got 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease. And you'll always find peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So stop what you're doing and call Bobby J, because he's ready to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE 756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200. Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2024. Dealer stock only.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir. It's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get preseason pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This is for all the biggest crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins. It's obviously crunch time. Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, Brett, I learned today that yesterday the Olympic torch was lit in Greece, but they had to do it a little differently. I guess I wasn't completely familiar with how the torch was actually lit. I understood that they ran it all around and it took a while for it to get to
had actors.
Absolutely, yes, and have the whole thing, and they light it usually by the sun. And it reflects off something and then lights in the thing. Really? But it was overcast yesterday, and so they
just broke out a match.
Well, they had a backup one that I guess they lit the day before and had it still lit from the sun, and so they pulled that one out and used that one. From what I understood,
have you seen the map that it's going to follow?
I was reading them. I didn't get like a visual of the map. I was reading all the places they were going and trying to keep up, but I don't know anything about Greece.
You know a good cheap shot I could get in right now?
Okay.
Draymond could help him carry it.
He could.
He's got the time.
Long off season.
Hey, Brett. Hey, that's a good one.
That is absolutely right.
That was cheap. I should do that.
Hey, nah,
but
that was good.
100 days away from the Olympics.
I know they know what they're doing. They don't need me to plot their course for them.
Sure.
But wouldn't it be fun if they somehow incorporated it into the Tour de France?
Ooh, that would be fun.
With the Olympics in Paris?
Sounds a little dangerous, but would be fun.
Yeah, with a bicycle with a big old burning.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, be careful with all that. You know what I learned? This is D1 docket season on Twitter.
Oh, man, sure is.
He's so good. Don't know him. Don't know anything about him. Follow him. If you want your college basketball scheduling news for next year, he's the one. That's where he gets it all. And it's always West Virginia first with the full rollout, and he has it.
You're absolutely right. What I could have done without everybody needs to go read this massive story that was posted earlier today on ESPN about Bill Belichick and really this whole offseason for him. It goes into a lot of different things about him leaving New England, him interviewing for jobs, thinking he had jobs, the different owners going back and talking with the Crafts about him, and the Crafts coming out publicly saying, oh, yeah, we said great things about him, and then kind of behind the scenes maybe not saying the best things about Bill Belichick, calling him selfish, calling him arrogant, different things. Really good piece up at ESPN.
I think the Falcons just simply didn't hire him because they thought he would just be too mean in the building.
I mean, honestly, you might be right.
They just didn't want kind of that attitude around.
Yeah.
I could have done without the Grizzlies and the Tigers are not the only ones that are at the kind of public dole. You see the Cardinals in Busch Stadium right now. It's a real controversy everywhere for public money.
Sure, it absolutely is. Where are you beaming tonight?
Philly. Let me watch the 76ers tonight against Heat Culture.
Yeah, I'm going to have to beam right there with you with all the day baseball. Not much tonight outside of these two NBA games.
Yeah, the last time for Philadelphia to get to an Eastern Conference Finals is when Allen Iverson got them all the way to the NBA Finals in 2001.
Holy cow. So that should be a fun game tonight. Also, Bulls and Hawks after that in the 9-10 game. So it should be a lot of fun to see how that plays out tonight. But that's all the time we have. Enjoy your night, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.